God damn it. I got so much I want to say, so let me get it out of there. First of all, let's talk about franchise champion. A lot of people are kind of, some people, there's a lot of people, not the majority necessarily, but a lot of people are disappointed that Lomachenko has become franchise champion for really ridiculous reasons, I think. Just because you want him to face Devin Haney or make Devin Haney as mandatory is a dumb reason, in my opinion, for wanting him. That's just my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but it is my personal opinion. It is what it is. WBC is making franchise champions now. Okay? It's a reality we got to live with, we got to face. I'm going to talk about it. I think franchise champion, in some respects, is stupid. In other respects, I get what they're doing. I'll talk about that in detail in a minute, but oh God, I got to talk about DAZN. Those 240 days DAZN bits were so fucking insightful and so dope that they're really getting me out for this fight. I might actually watch it. The way they're presenting their stuff is the best shit I've ever seen. DAZN, listen, man, y'all need to subscribe to the DAZN service. It's probably the best fucking boxing service out there to date. And I like PBC. You know, they do free fights and everything, but god damn it, DAZN, he's knocking the ball out of the park right now. They're knocking the fucking ball out of the park. God damn it. Better than HBO 24/7. Any day, anytime. Better than Showtime's, whatever they were calling it. You know, that shit is, let me tell you why. It's the gems that they're giving you. It's the gems that they're giving you on boxing. All the other things were well packaged, but they wasn't really giving you shit. They gave you some insight. Don't get me wrong. They gave you some insight, but not the real insight on boxing. For once, fucking DAZN's actually talking boxing. Like this fucking shit. DJ Khaled and the dude, you know, who won the 3 championships, and the other guy who was in the, you know, listen, man. They talking the truth. All right, so let me start off like this. I'm gonna be rehashing a little bit. 24/7 intangible boxing. Let me just tell you, it wasn't as informative about boxing as DAZN is. 24/7 was hyping up fighters. DAZN's telling you about the mentality and the recipe for success. They're literally teaching you what you need to do to be at the top of the game. They're literally telling you the precepts that all these great athletes have, the ones that we talk about. All right. DAZN's really ripping it out of the park. I can't. Okay, so first of all, we've talked about this before. Boxing is not a 36 minutes get paid job. You know, a lot of people think it's 36 to 48 minutes and you get paid. No. Let me compare boxing for a minute to acting. In acting, you get the job, you get the part, you get the role, right? Let's say major motion picture role, all right? We're talking movies here. We're not talking television. We're not talking the stage. We're not talking theater. You get the job. Filming starts in 2 to 3 to 4 months' time, okay? You get the job. But what you have to do between the moment you've got the job to the moment when filming starts is a hell of a lot before the picture starts rolling. And even when the picture starts rolling, as we all know, the evolution of the monster continues to evolve. And you still have to continuously research, revisit things, delve deeply into the psyche of the character, whoever it is you're playing. And even if it's a comedy, you may have to go to places in your recesses of your mind and soul and spirit, which are extremely uncomfortable. Good. Let's talk about boxing. The part of boxing I don't hear HBO and 24/7 and Showtime talk about. They make those things so very sexy. They make it so very appealing. They make it so very flattering. Is the repetition. The boring, mundane, fucking repetition. And what the zone is talking about is a guy doesn't get paid for 48 minutes of boxing. He gets paid for all of the prep leading up to the boxing as well. You got to get into the ring to box, but you just can't just get into the fucking ring. You got things you got to do. And a lot of people ignore that part of boxing. All they care about is when the two fighters enter the ring, but the battle began. The actual fight began a long time before that in the boxing gym. You hear boxers say it all the time. Fights are won or lost in the boxing gym. They talk about training camps. But what separates the great boxers today from the ones who are good, but they're not great? The great boxers don't have training camps. They are not getting ready for a fight. They're staying ready for a fight all year round. Boxing is a lifestyle. You're not getting paid when you're an elite boxer for just the moments in a fight. Think about what I'm saying. You are getting paid for your dedication to the sport of boxing and how committed and disciplined you are to the sport of boxing. That's what you're really getting paid for. The top tier guys maintained. It's easy to become champion. It's very hard to stay champion. And the very best in the business stay ready. And I loved it. That key in the zone, they actually broke it down. They started talking about the various elements of that. And you never heard that on Showtime. You heard Floyd Mayweather say it many times, but they never went into it in detail. And the way they described it was so beautiful. Using Canelo as an example, the repetition, the muscle memory. You do things until you don't think about them anymore. Slight adjustments have to be made. It's all there now, deep in the recesses of your muscles and your mind and your subconscious. And that's some deep shit. I remember Coach Eric Bradley talking about a lot of trainers try to teach fighters new things. They can't learn new things. You got to teach them what they already know and fine-tune that. And even when you're fine-tuning it, it's all about repetition. Repeating the right way. That's why I stopped training, because I realized I may be doing things the wrong way. You don't want your muscles, you don't want your mind to remember the wrong thing. So I found that's beautiful. Beautiful. And I think a lot of people, and that's one thing Eric Bradley was breaking to us, and I heard it on DAZN. That shit is deep. Let me tell you about now the difference. They were talking about a lot of things. They were talking about the life of the athlete, the life of the top tier musician, the life of the top tier person, and they were breaking it down on DAZN. But one of the things I found very beautiful about it was that in DAZN, they talk also about the very best, being people who are separated from the others because of their mindset. They're never finished doing something. If you're filmmakers, if you're into film, they talk about, they say, "Are you finished with the thing?" And he's like, "No." They're always touching up. They're always touching up. They're always trying to improve. It's a constant pursuit of perfection, which you never arrive. You're never fully ready for a fight. You're always going. You're always tweaking something. I love that thought. Now I know that the week before the fight, boxers are they're not really boxing or doing anything or sparring or anything up to the final moment. Usually they're resting, sleeping a lot, doing interviews, and getting ready, resting up for the fight. We know that. But what we're talking about is, until the fight happens, you never fully feel satisfied that you're ready for a fight. I hear sometimes fighters say, "Man, I was ready like yesterday. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go." That's their enthusiasm and excitement. And there is a point at which you can't put in more work. You just can't. But still, it is like, to me, it is like you go into that ring, but you got to go in with a certain mentality. You're not going in contented and satisfied as you go into the ring. No, you have confidence, but you're on the edge still. You have confidence, but you don't feel like you're fully ready for everything. What I mean by that is that anything can happen in a boxing fight. And you do have supreme confidence, but anything can happen in a boxing fight. So you're always ready for whatever. You're always ready for whatever situation, because you can't control everything, right? So that's what I mean. They talk about being calm and keeping your composure. And we hear a breakdown of how Canelo keeps his composure in fights. One of the things that was so revealing to me was that Sergey Kovalev does everything. He wraps his fucking hands. He draws his lines to do the bob and weave. This motherfucker be training himself. He's self-motivated. I began to realize Sergey Kovalev, this motherfucker could do all kinds of shit. If he wanted to, he could train afterwards. This motherfucker do everything. He liked to do everything himself. So he wiped his own face. I loved it. I loved it. It changed my mindset about who Sergey was. This motherfucker do everything himself. And I had so much respect for that. I had so much respect for the fact that this guy, he goes from the ground up. And this motherfucker been doing it his whole life. You could see that. And the training regiments and shit, I was so impressed by this guy. And that just totally changed my opinion of the fight, and changed my opinion also of, Sergey. Because as much as Sergey being involved in all kinds of controversial shit outside the ring, inside the ring, this motherfucker is something. And so that's what kind of changed my perspective on, I think I need to go watch this fight still. I think I need to still watch this fight. And the reason why is not, I don't know what will happen definitively. Now that I think about it, this motherfucker be doing everything himself. Come on, man. Not everything, but you know what I mean. He helps himself. He don't let other people help him. Canelo gets his hands wrapped. Canelo gets his face wiped. Canelo has somebody draw the lines for him. Not Sergey Kovalev. I had so much damn respect for that. The man's like a self-made man. This man came out there and did what he needed to do. And I remember all the years Kathy Duvas talked about where this guy was in obscurity. Couldn't get fights, and because, it was a crusher and shit. And I thought about that and how this guy was able. I have so much respect for the guy, because Kovalev, he came from absolutely nothing, a tough life, right? This man made it for himself, made it for his family, came across the United States on his own. No motherfucker helped him. He came on his own, spent years in the fucking United States, right? Couldn't get fights. Kathy Duva finally took him under her wing. And because of her, this man is where he is today. Well, because of him, actually, not her. He made his way. He clawed his way up. He did everything. And when I think that this man wrapped his own fucking hands, this man actually set up his own stuff in the ring. This man do his own shit. Basically, I could get why Sergey fell out with certain trainers. I get it. Because this man be doing everything himself for years. This motherfucker be doing it. Yeah, he probably had a trainer. But I mean, this motherfucker, come on, man. on, man. You got to respect that. You got to respect that. And, that's the one thing that when I saw that, at part of his character and how far this guy came from and how far this guy is going to go, I hope, man. I hope this dude, does well against Canelo. I mean, I'll be nice if he can make it to the finish line, even if he wins, whether he doesn't win, whether it's controversial decision, whatever. I root for this dude. I feel like, and he old like us. He an old dude. I'm an old dude. I'm 40, almost 45. He 36. You know what I'm saying? He an old dude. I root for him. You know what I'm saying? Actually, that one aspect about him, I know it sounds hypocritical, but one aspect about him just made me see more into this guy's character. This guy never had it easy coming up. He never had it easy, And the thing about him that I really appreciate is this man is a true champion. He took a loss, he bounced back. He took another loss, he bounced back. In a fight, he was almost losing, he bounced back. This motherfucker's a real champion. He a real deal. And, I'm rooting for him, I'm rooting for him to do well or to win even. If he could pull off the win, I'm going to root for him because looking at the man, so like there's a certain degree of humility to what this dude doing and still a certain degree of empowerment. This guy's story could teach us how you don't need, if somebody else, if you could do the things that somebody else could do for you, why would you let them do it for you? You could do it yourself, to do it yourself. I like that. I like this guy. I really do. And for me, that was very revealing. For me, it was very interesting seeing that. Of course, the smaller Canelo coming up to face the bigger Kovalev, David versus Goliath, is also very intriguing. And the way they're packaging it, how DAZN is packaging it, is very interesting because they're making it sound like Canelo's going to conquer Kovalev. The way how they're painting it, they focus more on Canelo than they focus on Kovalev. Kovalev getting the short end of the stick pretty much. But yet at the same time, you could see that Kovalev's quietly training in the background with Buddy McGirt. They're quietly doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of like that too. So I know, just the way how they package this shit is getting me intrigued. I'm looking forward to the next episode as well. And they're actually building this fucking fight. A fight in which I think Canelo going to win anyway. And he's still going to knock out Kovalev. I don't like the thought of thinking that because Kovalev he's done so much. His record, his resume. I kind of feel for him now that I see this motherfucker be doing everything himself. It's just a certain, I know this dude, he's said some atrocious shit. He's probably despicable as a human being to some degree. But I always admired Kovalev. I always liked him. I always sort of liked certain things about him. So, he was, even when he was called a crush and all that shit, he was so brutally honest. You interview him, he was just straightforward. Like, whatever's thinking in his head, he'll actually speak it. And I like that. And he wasn't trying to fake, that the interpreter and shit. And nobody ever really overhyped Kovalev. Kovalev's a dude, never had it like Gennady Golovkin, never even had it like Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? Kovalev always had it the rough and rugged way. And he slipped, he fell, he got back up. He slipped, he fell, he got back up. This motherfucker, you got to give him his props, man. You got to give this man his props. And I'm not going to underestimate him. I told you you're going to see the best Kovalev coming into this fight. And I'm looking forward to that. And whether or not this motherfucker lose or win, I'm going to have respect for this guy. He a true champion. And no matter what happens in this fight, I'm going to say that because this man has proven himself time and time again against all odds. And just seeing this man, it's so simple and still humble, the preparation. I know there's a whole team behind them and all that stuff, but just seeing him and Buddy McGirt working together, the fact that this man is in shape, he doesn't have to get into shape. Canelo be eating like a motherfucker because he gotta stay on a certain weight. So when he burns off all that calories, remember Canelo works like a beast. So the more you train, the more you work, is the more weight you lose. So Canelo's fighting weight, to keep his weight up, he got to do like Manny Pacquiao. He got to be eating like a motherfucker. So he eating like crazy, right? He ain't got a problem with eating. You know what I'm saying? But with Kovalev, again, discipline, dedication. He can't afford to balloon up. He can't eat like Canelo. You know, he don't have those luxuries. You know, whereas Pacquiao had the luxury of eating whatever he wanted, and just Pacquiao was eating rice and macaroni and all kinds of shit. He was just eating, eating, eating. You know, Keith Thurman had to diet. You know what I mean? And when they start telling you about how hard it is for these fighters, how the diet is a specific diet, and you can't even eat carbs, and there's so much shit you can't do. It's a lot of sacrifice as a boxer, and a lot of people don't realize that's what you're getting paid for. You're not getting paid for, and the way how they brought it out was so beautiful. You know, you're not getting paid for 36 minutes. You know, it seems like an easy job, just 36 minutes. No, motherfucker. You're getting paid for your reputation, right? Your commitment to the sport of boxing, which involves some very painful shit. You know, you push yourself to the limit. I don't think a lot of people understand what that means. There's a lot of things that happen in training which are extremely uncomfortable. Extremely uncomfortable. Right? And very few people would go through those things. Well, first of all, very few people could survive the training. Right? Period. It kills some people, right? But besides that, we're talking about also, even if you could survive it, would you go through it? Would you go through it? You know, us as fans, we don't really see that side of these boxers. And even though the Zone 40 Days did not show us that shit, right? They don't show us that side because there's a very technical side to everything and so on. And the machinery and the stuff that goes behind these boxes, we really don't see that side. There's a lot of science that goes behind them. But even though we didn't see that side, they actually spoke to it in quite a lot of detail. And I love how the artistic way of DJ Khaled. By the way, did you guys realize that LeBron James is an executive producer on this? I thought that was really awesome to see. You know, he's an executive producer for 40 Days. So that's even dope. But aside from that, you know, it's one of those things where when I saw this, I said, God damn it, man, it's just beautiful. This is beautiful shit, and it's getting me excited for this fight. Not in the sense that my prediction is going to change. My prediction is going to stay the same, but definitely I'm having appreciation for how they are talking about the composition of what it takes to be extremely successful and stay successful in life. And that's where I really enjoy it. Intangible Boxing, my dude, what's up, man? Intangible Boxing says nothing beats out Mayweather Hatton 24/7 or Mayweather Mosley as far as insight and entertainment. Again, I'm not really into, you know me, I'm not really into the entertainment aspect of shit. I always look for substance. And so for me, Mayweather versus Hatton was shit. Okay? Some people liked it. I didn't find it great. I understood what Floyd was saying, but it really wasn't my cup of tea. And then Mayweather versus Mosley, to me, it was shit again, because once again, it's more about, you know, stuff that hadn't had nothing to do with boxing, superfluous. Yeah, Mosley was, you know, and, you know, I think one of them, I think it was Mayweather with no, it wasn't his father. I think it was Mayweather Delaware. It was more of a Mayweather thing. It was more promoting Mayweather. And I really ain't into that shit. When I looked at 40 Days, that's just my opinion, okay? Maybe you see more virtue in it. When it comes to the Zone 40 Days, they're not really talking about Canelo or about Kovalev. You notice they don't really mention their names. They're talking about precepts. They're talking about they're helping the casual fan appreciate the fucking sport of boxing. That's what this fucking shit's supposed to be about. And that's what I love about it. You see what I'm saying? How they started to break down. It's like you could see that there's a love for the fucking sport of boxing. Some people say, "What DJ Khaled doing with that?" But the man is a successful musician, and they're talking about precepts to make you successful as well, or to help you understand. Now you might understand the shit, you know, like I can demonstrate moves and shit. That don't mean shit. Like they said, it's about actually doing it and doing it right. See, anybody can demonstrate shit, right? We can demonstrate the principle behind something. But actually executing that fucking shit proper is totally different. And the things you got to go through to do that is totally like people don't understand this shit. How do I explain this to you guys? Throwing a fucking jab. All right, so I can demonstrate throwing a jab in the southpaw stance. It don't mean shit. I can demonstrate it. All right, here I am, jab. Right? Okay. Did I execute the jab properly? No. Watch again. Critique my jab, please. Huh. What did I do wrong? I did a lot of things wrong, but what did I do wrong? And my point being, I threw a jab, right? What kind of jab did I throw, first of all? That's one of the questions you can ask. And then the other thing is, did I throw it right? Did I throw it off the right angle? Did I come back with my hand? Did I protect myself? Is my defense right? Is my shoulder in position to make sure I can roll the punch if I have to roll the punch? Is my body angle correctly so the guy can't counter me? Is my head in the right plane? I mean, there's a lot of shit. And that's just so you get it right, so that when you're practicing it over and over. Anybody ever done martial arts or anything like that? You know it's about repetition, katas, repetition. It doesn't make no sense learning something new if the old stuff, you don't automatically be able to do it. If you got to think to do something, then it ain't in your system properly. Repetition, right? Great trainers and teachers teach you something that you instinctively do anyway. Help you to understand that you instinctively do this already. And then on top of that now, show you it so that you could do it. Now you're still going to be consciously doing it for a while, but then you're going to instinctively do it. Blocking a punch. There are many different ways to block a punch, right? In boxing, we can block it this way, right? We can block it this way. We can block it this way, right? But we learned in martial arts that you can also block it this way. You can block it this way. You can block it this way. You can block it this way, right? We know about that in martial arts. I mean, you know what? All right, point number 2. There are many things in life that look good, but they're wrong, right? Example, from the southpaw stance. Here I am, right? This look good. It's absolutely incontrovertibly wrong. Why? If somebody throws a punch at me, my chin is exposed. Look at that. If they throw a punch at me, I may block it here. But it's not perfect, right? Why? Because what? Where's my chin? Still partially exposed, right? Still gonna get hit. I'm here. I'm protected, right? Except the top of my head, right? Now I'm protected, right? Okay. My point being this. I'm consciously thinking about that. I'm consciously having to look at myself. I ain't got no fucking mirror when I'm actually fighting. So I have to be able to do it right. Secondly, look at me here. Can I get hit down here? How about now? How about now? Right? Okay. But if the guy ain't coming straight at me, right? If he's not coming straight at me, what do? So I'm here. He's coming off at an angle. Right? Right? I shuffle back, I shuffle forward. I shuffle back, I shuffle forward. Shuffle back, I shuffle forward. Shuffle back, I shuffle forward. I gotta do it nice and smooth, right? Because I want to keep level. He mustn't see me coming to him too fast. He mustn't feel the speed at which I'm coming at him. Right? Now, all I just said to you was cognitive, right? It's cognitive shit. We're aware of this shit. You're supposed to do that instinctively. Okay? Very important, subtle things like angles. How you block a punch. How you counter a punch. A lot of people like to counter punches like this. That's wrong. Like this, right? See? Watch it again. Right? But still did it technically wrong. Why? What did I do wrong? Watch again. What did I do wrong? That's wrong. Boom, I got hit. Where's my head? It's directly in the plane of attack. I'm going to get hit. Right? So, I may demonstrate shit, but when it comes to working the craft and all the secrets and all the little tricks, it's totally different. Let me fool you. It's totally different to anything you or I have ever done. And it's hours and hours and days and months and years and years and years of doing it over and over and over again. And the more you do it, the more confident you be at it. And the more comfortable you be in it. And the more natural you be in it. Tangible boxing. Tangible be talking to me all the time. Don't forget to smash the like button, people. Errol Spence would disagree about staying ready. He lives the life and diet of a bartender. And then jumps into camp and comes into the fight looking like Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard. Yep. You know Sergey Kovalev used to do that shit. What happened to him with Andre Ward? And that's what Terrence Crawford, they have observed. They say he a drunk. They say no drunk gonna beat us. So that's why a lot of people picking Terrence Crawford because he actually lives the lifestyle. You saw what Sean Porter did to him. Sean Porter lived a very disciplined lifestyle. Right? He can't eat what he wants, drink what he wants, and he does not balloon up between fights. In fact, he starts fighting again a couple weeks after. He's back in training a couple days after he has a fight. You know, because he stays ready. Terrence too. So my boy Reggie Prograis as well. 24/7 changed the game. Oh, for sure. Fighters and younger dudes were inspired from Mayweather and his opponent's training and charisma on the show. Yeah, sure. There would be no Haney Davis without these shows. Yeah, sure. I'm not saying no. Listen, dude, I was not saying no. I'm just saying when it comes to DAZN, you're trying to argue something, and I'm not really into that. I just gave you my opinion. You don't have to agree. But my point is, DAZN be breaking down what boxing's about. Not giving you misinformation like HBO 24/7 used to do. They give you some misinformation about fighters and a lot of shit that I really didn't. Some of the I remember there was this thing with this guy. Was it behind the ropes or something like that, in the ring or some shit like that, with whoever, where Mayweather was talking about how he outsmarts his opponents. How the thing he had was his mental, and he actually demonstrated it. I forgot what his name is. It was a white dude with blonde hair, really great. That was a very educational bit of boxing. I loved it really. You know, and Floyd would talk about how he counterpunched opponents and how he would lead off with certain shots and stuff. I love that kind of stuff because that's what boxing fans and casual fans need to see. They actually need to see a demonstration of boxing, not just talking about boxing, but a demonstration of it, especially from the pros, the actual experts in boxing, you know, guys who actually box. And to see Floyd actually demonstrating that to the guy, I can't remember what the name of the thing was so great. It was behind the ropes or beyond the ropes or some shit like that. I can't remember what it was. Good guy. I haven't seen him around anymore, but he really was a great promoter of boxing in educating the fans about boxing. And I haven't seen him in a long time. I'm looking forward to seeing him again. He was great. It was great. He always had a great program, great content. I don't know what's going on with him. I have to find him. See if he's still in the business. But he was really good. Really educate people on boxing. And I feel like DAZN's doing that in this series. And I kind of like that. I kind of like it. So, yeah. Back to what I was saying about So I might just watch this fight, man. I might just watch this fight. This fight is starting to grow on me. Of course, we all know size is going to be, what Kovalev is going to be using, as well as his reach, his range. But he's also going to use body punching. I noticed that he's going to trap set a bit. I noticed that Canelo's actually going to be boxing on the back foot a bit, from what I've seen in the sparring sessions, and not the sparring session, in the training sessions. He's moving around the ring. Canelo looks like he's going to move around a bit as well and box on the outside a little bit against Kovalev. So there's going to be, that. And then you can see he's also doing the bobbing and weaving style. Kovalev obviously will be going to the body more, to the chest. He's not really going to be head hunting because he knows he's not going to be able to hit Canelo in the head so easily. So he's going to be kind of going to the body, and that's a good idea. Like I said, it was a great idea to go to the body, go to the chest, shoot for the chest. I see Buddy McGirt showing Kovalev that you need to change the angle so that Canelo doesn't get more of your body. Give him the shoulder mostly, close down that angle. I think he's just making minor adjustments to Kovalev's stance, minor adjustments to different things. And since Kovalev don't got to make weight, he could repeat these things over and over and over and over and over and over again. And while he didn't make a habit of doing those things, unlike Canelo, who has made a habit of that, he's done it. You heard Canelo started boxing at 13. He had his first pro fight at 15. So 2 years in, this motherfucker was fighting in the pros. That's some crazy ass shit. So he's been doing this thing for a remarkably long time. You're talking about, I think Canelo started in 2005. So we're talking about 14, 15 years of boxing this kid has under his belt. He's already a veteran of the sport. I think Sergey started a little bit after him in the pros, but I know that Sergey was struggling to get, this motherfucker, man, Sergey Kovalev, man. This motherfucker took a plane ticket one way and he went to the States and he said, I'm going to make it somehow. That motherfucker struggled for years. Some crazy ass shit. So, thinking about that composition with Kovalev and just his struggle and how he made it, and he may have some unpopular sentiments, and he may be racist a bit, but you can't help but admire certain attributes about him though. This dude went for his dream like Data Chef, but this motherfucker actually made it. You know what I'm saying? He made it, man. And now he got the most lucrative fight in boxing. He landed the most lucrative motherfucking fight in boxing today. Nobody else trumps Canelo. Canelo is the man right now when it comes to money. He's the cash cow. Pacquiao great, but fucking Canelo is the cash cow. And Kovalev earned it. He worked hard for it. He worked hard for his shit. You may not like him as a person, you know what I'm saying, intangible. I hear you, I feel you on that. But you gotta admire the attributes of him. I like him as a boxer. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I like him as a boxer. He got flaws and shit, but I like him as a boxer. And he hook up with Buddy McGirt. That's a great trainer to hook up with, and Buddy, and just because people count Kovalev out, just because everybody count Kovalev out, shit. He gonna show y'all something. He gonna show y'all why he was called the Crusher. He gonna show y'all why he's so good. He's so great. He gonna show you. He gonna show you. He might get stopped, but he gonna show you. He gonna show you. I'm telling you, man. This man, after he fights this fight, after Kovalev fights this fucking fight, y'all gonna be speaking his name. I'm telling you, man. It's gonna be great for him. It's not gonna take his stock down. Y'all gonna respect. Y'all gonna love and respect Kovalev. Canelo gonna stop him, but it don't mean that trust me, this is one stoppage that y'all are actually going to really be inspired by Kovalev. I feel so because I know he's gonna be better than anything else. This man has nothing to fucking lose with this fight. Nothing. He has more to gain than he has to lose. Let's put it that way. He got his championship belt. He want to stay on a winning streak now. He got his championship belt, the WBO he had to lose, the least prestigious belt in boxing, right? He got that to lose. But come on now, and potential matchups with other guys. But in terms of what he has to gain, ladies and gentlemen, come on, man. Come on. If this man beats Canelo, the world is his oyster. He run the light heavyweight division. He called the shots on everything. Trust me. Main events will be back up and running if Kovalev beats Canelo. Kovalev had everything to gain by beating Canelo. Money, pound for pound status. I mean, calling the shots of his division. I mean, this man could retire the next day if he wants to, or he could fight on. I mean, he might even call Andre Ward back out of retirement and say, I want a rematch. He could do all that shit. I mean, the world is his oyster if this man pulls that off, right? And, you know, Canelo have more to lose than the game from this fight. I mean, people will say, well, he moved up 2 weight classes. I'll definitely laugh at Canelo. I will have a ball laughing at him, you know. But when it comes to and Canelo would still be a great fighter in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, but it's just that he would have bust on his he would have taken on, as they say, he would have taken on too much than he could chew. You know what I'm saying? He bit off more than he could chew, and he was really chewing, right? Because he was really eating for this fight. He eat good, but at the end of the day, like I was saying before, you know, you gotta admire Kovalev. You gotta admire, you know, this guy and what he has accomplished in boxing. I mean, this man, out of all the Eastern European fighters today, out of all of them, Kovalev is the most decorated. He's the most decorated of them all. He deserves to be in pound for pound status because he has done the best out of all of them. Usyk. Who has Usyk really fought? He fought, okay, he became undisputed. Yes, he fought some great names. Not great names, but good fighters. But they're not well known because not many people know about the cruiserweight division. Right? Lomachenko. He got Guillermo Rigondeaux on his resume. Nobody else. Okay, we could give him a Pedraza and Linares. But very few people know Linares and Pedraza. And even fewer people know Rigondeaux. Triple G fought Canelo. Okay, got Canelo. Some people know Danny Jacobs, but outside of boxing, not many people know Danny Jacobs. Outside of boxing, a lot of people knew Triple G. But think about this now. Think about Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev fought the legend, fucking Bernard Hopkins. Legend. Motherfucking all-time great. And beat him. And then he fought Andre S.O.G. Ward twice. Some argue he beat him the first time. It was a close fight. I mean, listen to the caliber of opposition this motherfucker faced. Then he faced the leader Alvarez. He lost to him. And then he beat him. He got back his belt. Okay? I mean, you got to give this man his rightful deserve. You know, just off of them 2 names, you're talking about the very best in boxing. Pound for pound, #1 fighter in boxing, Andre Ward. And fucking legend and world champion to become unified world champion against Bernard Hopkins. Come on, man. Hopkins had the 2 belts, so he was better than Kovalev. I mean, come on, man. You know, yeah, okay, Hopkins was old, but I mean, come on now. Come on now. You know, you got to give this man his props. You know, I know he is not the strongest or the best light heavyweight out there, particularly in terms of his vulnerabilities, which he was trying to clean up. But the man can box. He can box. You got to give him that. He can box. And I like that he just a self-made dude. He also stingy with money probably. He don't want to pay these people for them things. But I'm just saying, if he could help himself, why not? You know? So, man, I wish him the best, man. I hope he come out the ring, you know, healthy. I hope Canelo don't kill him. And I hope he don't kill Canelo. But other than that, it's all good, man. It's a fight. Let's see what happens. Right? We don't know 100% what will happen. I predict that Canelo won't stop him, but because of his vulnerability to the body, you know, which they're trying to clamp up and trying to make it easier for them, harder for Canelo to get to his body. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm willing to give this man his props. You know what I'm saying? Thank you very much, Intangible. You are 100% correct. Kovalev is a greater fighter, way better than Triple G. I know, man. I know. For sure. Triple G just tough. Good offense, but defensively gets hit way too fucking much. You know? And Kovalev, he got a great jab. He got a great jab. The man has a fantastic jab. He also has a nice right hand. He has great 1-2s. He mixes up his hooks with his jab. You know, he feints. You know, he gonna do some things, boy. The man gonna do some things. Nothing that Canelo never seen before, but he gonna do some shit. He gonna do some shit. You see, he's learning this stuff too late. Buddy trying to tweak him too late, though. But they're gonna try. Buddy ain't gonna give him too much to do, because Buddy know they have to practice it. So he can't be doing a whole set of things. That's the one thing these trainers need to understand. You can't be teaching a guy a whole bunch of things. You know, it's not so much about understanding it as it is muscle memory. And you can't be trying to teach your buddy 4 or 5 different things. It's got to be a few things, just a few things Buddy need to teach him, and that's it. You know, and everything else is what he already know. You gotta use it. You gotta let him use what he already know. And I love that Buddy's teaching him things, though, you know, for future use. Some of that shit he's not going to use in the ring. You're not going to use in the ring. It's just what it is. So you can't teach him too much. You got to let him use what he already know. And say, you know what, use this a little bit more. And the things that he don't already know, and you kind of just tweak it, even if it's a slight change in the angle of your approach, your attack, your body, whatever. Make sure that it's just 1 or 2 little things. It's not no big thing, and you just keep on working on that. Keep on working on that shit. Just work on that shit. And you know, I mean, you just got to keep on doing it over and over and over and over and over again, because he done already been doing it the wrong way for years. So that will supersede anything new that you're trying to train him with. You know, he gonna fall back on that because that's all he had been doing. So, you know, it's a lost cause if he get into trouble. And that's one of the things that what's the kid's name? What's the man's name? The trainer of Triple G, he didn't understand. He be trying to get this stuff into muscle memory. He's trying to get Triple G's mind to believe what he's saying. But, you know, when Triple G gets hit, he's gonna go back to what he's been doing for years. Because that's in muscle memory. You can't compete with that shit. So what you have to do is you have to just let him do what he's doing, but he say, okay, you usually do this, just do this a little bit more here. And what you do over there, what you doing with that, you know, we're going to try and just do a little less of that in this fight. Now that will work. Versus trying to teach somebody something new, and they done already been doing it wrong for years. It's just not going to. You're not going to succeed with that shit. You're just not going to. It's a muscle memory. It's what it is. Your subconscious mind got that down pack. To undo that, see if they were just a clear, empty slate and you were teaching them boxing for the first time, it'd be easier than trying to reprogram them to do something different that they not been used to doing. It don't work. It don't work. It's boxing. Boxing's a doing sport. So if you've been doing something all your life, you know, like if you had bad habits all your life, right? It's hard to undo bad habits. I have a lot of bad habits, right? And it's hard for me to undo them. Sometimes I replace them with good things, and I'm doing it all the time, and then I revert right back to what I was doing. Because why? Because I've been doing it for years, motherfucker. Been doing it for years. And it's every time I do it again, it reinforces it again, right? So, you know, it's not as easy as it sounds. Don't get confused by what I'm doing. I'm doing a bunch of things while I'm doing stuff. So I'm taking care of business. I'm taking care of different things. That's all. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you know, what I tell people is this, right? Because a lot of people, I think they know about boxing, but it is what it is. To be honest with you, I prefer the people who are in boxing who do boxing all the time and who are really good at boxing. I wish they would talk about boxing, but it is what it is. So, I want to talk about the franchise champion belt. Right? So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. If you guys were in Trinidad, I'm selling off a television for $100, which would be about, in US money, it would be, what would it be? 3 into 5 goes 1 and 20. 17 bucks. But it's not a flat screen TV. It's a tube TV. Selling it off. So I'm just prepping it right now. Yeah, let me talk about the franchise champion belt now. So the franchise championship belt is usually given to guys who have gone through multiple weight classes and want to be freed up to go through multiple weight classes and face who they want to face. Like, Canelo's going up, face Sergey Kovalev. He gonna have the WBC franchise belt. Allows him to face any champion, anywhere, or any person anywhere. And hey, shout out to EJ Boxing Live. What's my dude? What are you doing, man? And it allows you. It's cool to see you, man. You think that what do you say there? Let me hear what you saying. You said the WBC need money. That's all. There's a lot I want to say. So let me finish what I was saying about the franchise champion. Yeah, man, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you on here. Let me put it this way, right? The franchise championship belt basically allows a boxer to go, one who has done a lot in the sport of boxing. Canelo obviously is the face of boxing. It allows them to go wherever, whatever weight class, and face whatever champion. And they go now as representing the WBC as the WBC franchise champion. There's a lot I want to say on this, but I'm going to try and take my time. So, basically, don't forget to smash that like button, people. Basically, what they're saying is that Canelo now, when he's facing Kovalev, he's going to be the WBC franchise champion. He represents the WBC. Even though the bout is a WBO bout. Now, the WBO doesn't like that. The WBO like, hey, look, man, they pay sanctioning fees for the WBO. What are you doing pushing your face into shit that is not even your fights? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get back to that in a minute. But first, the WBC, now they got their champion that's represented in many weight classes. So Canelo, he could go to 168. Even if it's not a WBC fight, he faces a champion. He gonna be the WBC franchise champion. He can go wherever he wants. He represents the WBC. He could fight in whatever sanctioned fight. It could be WBO, WBA, whatever. But at the end of the day, he still represents the WBC. So the WBC gets branding or advertising themselves everywhere that franchise champion goes. Hence, franchise. It's a branding thing. Right. Lomachenko, they wanted Lomachenko to be the face of their boxing as well because he's a multiple weight class champion. And apparently Lomachenko is not going to stay at lightweight, right? You heard him say it a number of times, say lightweight's too big for him, etc. He's more comfortable at super featherweight. So basically, they going to want Lomachenko. If Lomachenko comes back down to super featherweight, he's going to be the WBC franchise champion. And so he's not just a franchise champion for a particular weight class. He a franchise champion for any weight class he chooses to go to and any champion he chooses to face. Now, here's what happens. If, let's say, for example, he faces a champion. On the line is going to be the WBC Diamond Belt. You cannot take the franchise championship from a franchise champion. You just can't. He's a franchise champion for life. Once he's an active fighter, he's a franchise champion. However, If he loses, since the other guy can't get the franchise championship, he can get the WBC Diamond belt. He'll win that. And that belt is there for special occasions. And you're going to have the WBC Diamond belt. Now, here's the thing about the franchise champion. Apparently, franchise champion, which they bestow this belt on, he can't ever be stripped of that. It's unstrippable. So the WBC, I don't know. I don't think the WBC charges the franchise champion for the franchise belt. That's just something they bestow on him as an honor. I don't know if he has to pay anything to keep the belt. I doubt it because he's for life. It's kind of like, it's not like emeritus, because emeritus is when you're in absence, but it's kind of like that. It's in terms of for life. You're for life, you're a franchise champion until you retire from the sport. Once you retire, you're not a franchise champion anymore because guess what? You're not fighting anymore. So you can't represent the WBC in fights, right? So anyway, with Lomachenko, they bestowed on him the franchise champion. Now, Devin Haney kind of knew that. You heard it in certain interviews saying they might give him franchise championship instead of, and he might get the WC belt. All right, now this is a hot topic. I think a lot of people are talking about it. So a lot of people are sour about this. They're like, oh, fuck, man. So now, again, they're going to take the real champion, make him franchise champion so he don't have to face his fucking mandatory. So a lot of people are really pissed about that shit. Because they want to see Devin Haney face Lomachenko, and we're not getting the good matchups anymore. Canelo would have faced Jamal Charlo. Motherfucker don't have to do it, and they feel it's ducking. Now, let me just say this. It's not Canelo that decided this. And neither was it Lomachenko. It was the WBC. All right? The WBC decided this shit. They saw it as these dudes, they go through multiple weight classes. It looks like they want to still go through multiple weight classes. So we give them this special belt to represent us. We brand them, because this is the age of branding, right? You're seeing a lot of branding going on. If you've paid attention, Gervonta Davis is a brand. Fucking Canelo is a brand. Fucking Devin Haney is a brand. All right, so if you haven't realized that Jamal Charlo is a fucking brand, Jamel Charlo is a fucking brand, they are branding. Fighters are branding themselves, okay? And you heard Clarissa Shields talk about branding, as well as the girl who she faced very recently. I think her first debut fight, she was talking about branding as well. All right, and Clarissa Shields, she's outspoken like that, and a lot of people don't like Clarissa, but Clarissa outspoken like that because she's branded. She wants to be outspoken to keep women's boxing going and also to brand her thing. Now, don't get it twisted. As much as Clarissa puts her foot in her mouth, because she said some real stupid ass shit very recently, but as much as she puts her foot in her mouth, everybody be talking about Clarissa Shields. She's gotten even more fucking popular. And on Twitter, she's branding herself, right? She's making her brand more and more and more. Ali Bashir, and I did not know Ali Bashir and Clarissa are good friends and all that shit. I didn't know all that shit. All right, cool. So, and all this shit about Ali Bashir put his fist on Clarissa, that's something they always do. Like, boxers always put their fist on another person's thing. It ain't no big thing. And, we made a big deal out of it, but, man, all these motherfuckers are brothers and sisters in boxing. They all... some of these guys who we think are great opponents and they have hate for one. No, motherfucker, they don't. They don't. It's a love thing amongst them. And they really, it's a brotherhood. So we be stressing out, oh, that motherfucker. And these motherfuckers cool with each other. They be texting each other and all kinds of shit. And Terrence Crawford texts Sean Porter all the time. And Terrence, you saw what happened. When Errol got in the accident, Terrence Crawford was like, oh man, I hope you recover and shit. So all this bullshit is just trash talking. They're just trash talking. And we fans take it too fucking serious. Because they all came up together too in the amateurs and shit. And they all made it, So anyway, back to what I was saying. So, yeah, women's boxing is heating up. Men's boxing is red fucking hot. There are a lot of divisions that are red hot. The light heavyweight division is red hot. The fucking super heavyweight, super middleweight division is fucking hot. The heavyweight division is red hot. Cruiserweight division, it's all right. I mean, you got some good players in the cruiserweight division. Brett is what's his name? The Cuban dude and the other dude, I forgot their names. I don't really pay attention to cruiserweight. What can I say? The super lightweight division is fucking red hot. Welterweight division is flaming like a motherfucker. Super welterweight division is red hot. I mean, almost, you look at boxing right now, this is the greatest time in a long time in history to be a boxing fan. Because this shit is going to go ballistic very soon. But, you know, we have about our time, take our time, keep a composure. All right. So back to what I was saying. So you're going to have to excuse me because I'm in the middle of doing things. I got things I got to do because I got to pay some bills. And this shit ain't paying bills right now. So I have to pay bills, so I'm doing my thing. So I was telling you guys, and it's only me now. Ain't nobody to help me. I have to help myself and shit. So what I was saying to you guys is that the franchise champion. So Lomachenko's franchise champion. Fuck it. So what? Right? WBC, like EJ said, WBC pushing they branding themselves. They everywhere. They got all kinds of fucking belts now, right? All right. So there's good and bad to it. I'm going to tell you the good. I'm going to tell you the bad. I'm going to tell you what I like. I'm going to tell you what I don't like. Okay? So with the WBC, once upon a time, I'm going to sound like one of them old people. Once upon a time, let me tell you a story. When I was a little boy, once upon a time, right? We had the champion, and then we had the interim champion, right? That's how boxing used to be, right? And what happened is, if the champion went in recess for whatever reason, the interim champion became champion until the champion came back. If the champion ever came back, the interim champion remained champion. Well, that shit is long since gone. We ain't doing that shit no more. The WBA was the first to do it. The WBA had interim champion, and then we had this thing called the super champion. The super champion was awarded super championship because he won more than one belt in a division. So if he unified the division, he became super champion. Or if he had 7 or more defenses, he became a super champion. Say, you know what, fuck the voluntaries. You don't need to have no more voluntaries. Then you had the regular champion. The regular champion usually came because the interim champion was promoted to regular champion after he fought a certain amount of fights and defended his interim belt a certain amount of times. That's still applicable today. It's still shitty as fuck because the interim champ is not really seen as the real champ. The real champ is the fucking super champion, right? Because he's the dude that beat whoever to get the super championship belt. If the interim champion wants to beat somebody, or the regular champion as they call him, wants to beat somebody, he has to beat the fucking super champion to become the champion like what Manny Pacquiao did. Kudos to Manny Pacquiao. He's a real champion. That motherfucker keep improving. He's a real champion every time. Y'all can say what you want about Pacquiao. That motherfucker is real, okay? Like Kovalev. So, the super champion is the real champion, okay? The WBC did a variation of that shit. They call it the franchise champion. It's different to the super champion in that the super champion, you could actually win that belt and become a super champion. So if there's a super champion out there, you unify with that super champion or you beat that super champion, you become the super champion, okay? Franchise champion, that bullshit, it's not passable, which is fucked up, but it is what it is. But if you do beat the super champion, you get the diamond belt, which don't mean shit, but hey, diamond belt being all kinds of shit, but at least you get some kind of belt, right, from the WBC. And everybody wants the green belt. It's one of the most desired belt in boxing. It's also the most beautiful belt in boxing, and it's also the most recognizable belt in boxing. So I get it. I've been around the longest and all that shit. Nonetheless, here's the fucked up part about it for old timers like myself. I say I'm an old timer because obviously the new age people, they're not thinking like that. They're thinking branding and shit like that. For the old age timing people, it's like the real fucking champion's the franchise champion, right? The other guy's a paper champion. They just call him WBC champion, and he gonna have to face all the other opponents, but he never really is the real champion because he never really beat the lineal fucking champion or the real champion, which is the WBC champion, right? Both WBC champions who have become franchise champions are lineal champions. Twofold, Canelo. Canelo beat Miguel Cotto. Then he went back and beat Triple G. So he's twofold the lineal champion. Jamal Charlo was in line to face him. He inherited that from Triple G. And WBC gave him a pass. They said, franchise champion in your ass. You want to get Sergey Kovalev? I know you're excited about him. All right, so franchise champion in your ass. And that was that. Vasily Lomachenko beat Jorge Linares, who was the lineal champion. He beat him. He became the lineal champion. He defended his lineal championship how many times? 3 times? 3 times, I think, right? It was Pedraza, then it was Corolla, and then it was Campbell, right? In so doing, he also unified. The man has proven himself. Okay? As a result of that, WBC said, give him the fucking franchise championship. Devin Haney was in line to get it. Devin Haney ain't going to get shit. He's not going to ever face Lomachenko. Unless Lomachenko decides to be a man and say, you know what, I'm going to have one defense at light heavyweight. But if he's going to have one defense at light heavyweight, who do you think he's going to face? Think he's going to face Devin Haney? Fuck no. Who's he going to go for? The money fight. And what's the money fight, ladies and gentlemen? Gervonta Tank Davis. The question will be if Tank Davis is ready for him. But that would be his fight. He ain't going to face no fucking Devin Haney. What has Devin Haney done? Nothing. So obviously, Lomachenko's not going to face Devin Haney. He's going to face the 2-time world champion who may just be, in line to become world champion too. Because if Lomachenko got all the fucking belts, he's the undisputed champion. Face against Gervonta Davis. Listen to me. That is a fucking money-making fight, ladies and gentlemen. Think about what I'm saying. The man is undisputed. So you're talking about the undisputed champion against the miniature little cash cow guy that's going to rise, little fucking Gervonta Davis. That's a fucking fight worth paying for. That's better than Gervonta versus Tevin Farmer, motherfuckers. Will Gervonta take it? That's if Mayweather and they think he's ready for it. If you think he's ready for Lomachenko, he will. If he's not ready for Lomachenko, he won't. If Lomachenko don't want to, but Lomachenko said he wanted to face Tank Davis. This is the one guy he wants to face, and he knows why. And they're working their way towards that motherfucking fight. Trust me. They trying to get that done. So poor Devin Haney, nope, you're not going to get no fucking fight. So what does Devin Haney have to do? He's going to have to legitimize his paper championship, the WC paper champion, because that's what he is. On paper, he's the champion, but he ain't a real champion, right? He's not a real champion. It's what it is. That's why it's called paper champion. So to legitimize his paper championship, that motherfucker going to have to face somebody at lightweight before he goes up. Somebody. Who it will be, we don't know. And he not staying at lightweight much longer. He got to face somebody at lightweight. And there's a lot of good lightweights out there. Right? And you know who that somebody's going to be? It's going to be motherfucking Luke Campbell. He going to face Luke Campbell next year. Luke Campbell's going to get his 3rd shot at getting a world title shot. There you go. All right, so now we've sorted that out. Teofimo Lopez, if he beats Richard Comey, will have the opportunity of a lifetime to face Vasily Lomachenko. He's going to have the opportunity of a lifetime to face him. If Richard Comey wins, it's going to be harder to make that fight, but Lomachenko, of course, wanted to get undisputed. So, that'd be good, too. I don't give a fuck which way it goes. Once Lomachenko gets to face those guys, let's see if he can unify the titles. If he does, he becomes undisputed motherfucking lightweight champion of the world. Motherfucker in 16, 17, 18 fights would have become undisputed champion at lightweight, going through motherfucking 3 weight classes from featherweight to fucking lightweight. That is crazy. Motherfucker need to be pound for pound number 1 after that. And then after that, can he face a Gervonta Davis? Finish it off, probably get a win off of him. Yeah. So that's why they have him as franchise champion. He shouldn't have no mandatories. He shouldn't have to be bothered with that. He should just want the fights he want to get. And Lomachenko was old, and he's getting up in age, so might as well try and get his motherfucker what he deserves. He's been performing for the longest period of time. You could give him what he deserves, right? So that's just the way our boxing goes. Now, for those of you who sour about it, I understand. My downside about the whole thing, like I said before, is that now we're calling guys champion who are not champions. They're not champions. Jamal Taylor is not the real champion. The real champion is Canelo, the WBC champion. And if Canelo unifies with Demetrius Andrade or whoever he unifies with, because he is the real champion, it won't be called undisputed with it because he doesn't really have the WBC title. I guess it still be called undisputed, but it's like what? How do we even deem that shit? I don't know. But then again, even the WBC seems to be joking around with their belts, which leads to the other thing: is undisputed now dead with these franchise champions? Does that mean that these franchise champions, even if they get all the fucking belts, they'll never be called undisputed? That's another very great question, right? Because obviously now, when you are called a franchise champion, you're a champion regardless of weight class. You represent the WBC regardless of fucking weight class. So you can move up and down weight classes. But that shit kind of fucks up undisputed, right? Take, for instance, now they're talking about Deontay Wilder probably becoming franchise champion. If Deontay Wilder becomes franchise champion, will he ever be an undisputed champion? Can he ever be? These are great questions. You know what I'm saying? And so there's a downside to this shit. There's a downside to this shit. And it's really fucking annoying thinking about it. When I think about it, I'm like, because I'm so old school. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of old school. And to think about it as branding is a different concept. It's a different way of thinking because, okay, guys like Canelo, not Lomachenko, but Canelo. What does a belt do for Canelo? Nothing. Canelo's chasing after legacy. He's chasing after people with resumes, people who've done shit in boxing. That's what Canelo's really after, right? Because when it comes down to it, it's not the belt that matters. It's who you're facing, right? Who you fought, who you beat, right? So at the end of the day, that's what Canelo's looking for. He's looking for the big fights. He's looking for the big names. He's looking for the people who've done shit in boxing, right? So that's what Canelo's going after, and that's why he talks about legacy. And at the super middleweight division, there's nobody really there that done shit, you know what I'm saying? So he went all the way up to like heavyweight, and there was Kovalov. And when you think of Kovalov, like my boy Intangible said, Kovalov is the real deal. When you think about what he's accomplished in boxing, he is the most decorated Eastern European right now in boxing. Just bar everybody else. Lomachenko's great. Don't get me wrong, he's great. But his resume does not match up to Kovalov's resume in terms of legendary names. He ain't got that. Kovalov got it. And them two names that Kovalov have is equal to every single name, all the names in Lomachenko's resume. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nobody on Lomachenko's resume that even compares to them two names. You know what I'm saying? Lomachenko got a hell of a resume, don't get me wrong. He got Clarissa Shields got a hell of a resume too, right? But like, I mean, you're talking now legends. Lomachenko has not a single fucking legend on his resume. It's just what it is. Maybe in 5 to 10 years' time, maybe Guillermo Rigondeaux becomes a legend. Who knows? Jorge Linares looks like he's at the end of his rope, and Jose Pedraza, he seems to have reached his limit as to what he can do. So those are the best names he got. Well, there's Orlando Salido. I forgot of him. He did lose to him, but nonetheless, he got that guy is a legend. That guy is a legend. Say what you want, he's a legend in the sport of boxing. So Orlando Salido been around forever. He faced Marquez. This motherfucker faced everybody. You know what I'm saying? Lost to a lot of people, but he fought some legend. He fought some legendary names. So he does have one legend on his resume. He got beat by him, but you know he got a legend. Borderline legend, but he's a legend nonetheless. But yeah, so when we talk about legends, man, Kovalev got it. Nobody else got it. Nobody else. Triple G don't got it. I mean, Triple G got Canelo. He got Canelo. That's it. He ain't got nobody else. People say, well, it's no fault of Triple G. They were ducking him. Well, it's no fault of Kovalev. They was ducking him too. Y'all forgot that. Kathy Duva made it happen, though. Kathy Duva made it happen. And that's the difference. You see, Kathy Duva was setting Kovalev into the fire, and Kovalev was like, give me it. Give me the fights. Give me the fire, right? Give me the fights. Give me the fire. He went straight to the fire. Triple G did not go straight to the fire. He didn't go straight to the fire. He had opportunities to face Erislandy Lara, Andre Ward. He had opportunities to face Kyle Froch. You know, all these motherfuckers. He didn't go to the fire. Kovalev went straight to the fucking fire. It was like, give me the fire. Give me the fucking fire. Man's a self-made man. You got to give him his props, man. Anyway, so that's what I have for the franchise championship. So people, I was listening to 68 Sports TV talk about it, and I agree with 68 Sports TV in that respect, that people making much ado about nothing. And the people who talking about all this stuff about all the franchise championship and what you're saying things like how boxing is not the same, and they moan. I say, where you motherfuckers were when Canelo got the franchise championship? Well, they say, well, Canelo was the face of boxing, and Lomachenko ain't pound for pound in the top 5. So what's your point? I mean, aren't they not making Lomachenko into he's not the face of boxing, he's not a Castrol like that, but aren't they making, is he not representative of the WBC? And so the problem with this is this, right? Let's say Deontay Wilder becomes franchise champion. Why? He not going to some other weight class to face some other opponent, is he? Or is he going to go down to cruiserweight and try and dominate there? I mean, don't forget to smash that like button, people. I mean, if you're gonna become a franchise champion, right? Then obviously, okay, I gotta get some stuff to clean this off. Obviously, they're saying regardless of weight class, you can face whoever you want. So how Deontay Wilder gonna be a franchise champion if he only gonna be in one weight class, heavyweight? But we could look at other prospective franchise champions. I could see one brewing, Leo Santa Cruz. They could fuck it up and make Leo Santa Cruz a franchise champion. That would be some fucked up shit, wouldn't it? If he ain't face nobody, right? I could see that happening. Anybody who's been in multiple weight divisions and is on top of the game could be a face for the WBC. They could make franchise champion. But then again, they could still give Deontay Wilder, make him franchise champion. They'll be talk about that. So you just never know. So that means he can face whoever he wants to face, and no mandatories. And elevate somebody else to WBC champion. That shit is fucked up in my opinion, but it is what it is. It's not going to change anytime soon. And nothing y'all bitch and moan, y'all can bitch and moan as much you want, it's not going to change. Hey man, why y'all not smashing that like button? What's wrong with you guys? Smash the like button. Yeah, so y'all ain't showing me no love. Y'all saying, fuck you. Okay, you gonna watch my video, but you gonna fuck me. Okay, fine. No problem. Thank you very much. Yeah, so anyway, what I'm saying is that, it is what it is. That's the reality we just have to deal with. And I don't particularly like it. Jessica Jimeno, what's up? EJ Boxing Live came through. I guess the topic. Yeah, it is what it is. It's just that what I would say to people though is, don't forget to smash that like button, people. Yeah, what I would say to people is that in boxing, things change. And we have to be able to flex with it and change with it. Like, I was saying that the Canelo versus Kovalev fight is a shit fight. Because I was feeling butthurt that he didn't face Demetrius Andrade. Usually, when I said Canelo gonna face this dude, I know he gonna face this dude. He does face the dude. But I guess it's just not to be right now. I know he gonna face Demetrius Andrade at some point. And I just would really look forward to that fight because Andrade is so much better a fighter, in my opinion, than Sergey Kovalev is. So much, vastly better than Sergey Kovalev, That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. And I really want to see that fight. But in the meantime, since Andrade ain't getting that fight, you better get his punk ass out there. I'm just joking. He better get out there and get a good name to face. Jamal Charlo's talking about his name. He mentioned his name. Because Charlo be fighting, again, not the kind of caliber of opposition we want him to face. I won't diss the opposition this time. I really want to call the guy a high-level bum, but I won't do that because I don't fight. and I need to respect the sport. And I need to stop being reckless with my words. But you know, the kid that he's about to face has never been at middleweight. He's never been at middleweight. Okay, he's not a heavy puncher. He's got a certain knowledge of boxing, but if you use a proper jab on him, he has problems. And guess what? Come on, man. People, Jamal Charlo, that's his strength, his jab. Ah. I mean, come on. They trying to sell this fight like this guy's a good boxer. And, you know, it's going to be a difficult fight for Jamal Charlo. Possibly. You just never know. Can't overlook him. Come on, man. That's how I feel about it. But quite frankly, I would like to see. Jamal Charlo has been now at middleweight for how many years? He's been there for about 2 years as well, like Terrence Crawford has at welterweight. And the frustrating part about these things, and I know we as fighters are becoming patient in this age. I mean, if you think about it, Roberto Duran, he had 3 fights at welterweight before he even faced, what's his name? Sugar Ray Leonard, okay? And they wanted the highest caliber opponents. So even back in the day, it was like that. But I'm just saying, though, I think we as fans kind of get impatient when these young and upcoming fighters, they're not facing one another, first of all. And on top of that, they want the best guy out there, but they're not facing one another. They're not really putting names on their fucking resume. They really aren't. They're showing that they're good at what they're doing, but they're not, you know, like, you know, we were supposed to have the Demetrius Andre Billy Joe Saunders fight. Now, you know, these guys are trash talking with one another. We know Billy Joe Saunders, first of all, he's going to have a debut fight. I get it. Demetrius Andrew be having a couple really nice debut kind of things. Yeah, he step up in competition just the last fight. But, I mean, come on, goddammit. We want to see a good fight, goddammit. Don't you understand the fans of boxing? Why is it they don't never understand the fans of boxing? Or is it that they just have to proceed things a certain way? Yeah, I understand Andre needs to stay busy. He fought more than he has ever fought ever. And that's great. Tevin Farmer, I get it. He has to stay busy too. Got it. But at some point in time, you got to understand, you can't just be thinking about the fucking fighter. You have to be thinking of us as fans, okay? Us as fans. You got to think about us. And that's where the disconnect is sometimes. Or it's a connection. They're hearing everything we say, and they're like, you got to wait still. You know? Ah, man. So, it is what it is. We're getting whatever they want to give us. So it's what it is. You don't have to watch it though. And certain fights I'm just not gonna watch. It's what it is. I may watch the Canelo versus Kovalev though. I'm changing my mind. I love those 40 days thing. So anyway, for the franchise champion belt, listen, man, you guys get over it. Get over it. Lomachenko's he's not facing Devin Haney. It's not gonna happen. Forget about it. You guys can go on the hypothetical and what would happen if Devin Haney faced Lomachenko? It's not happening. It's never going to happen. All right? Lomachenko, if anybody's going to face at lightweight, it's going to be Gervonta Davis. That's the guy he wants. The question is, does Gervonta Davis want him? I know his trainer does. I never really heard Gervonta talk about if he wants him or not. Leonard LB has not said nothing about that, so I don't know if Gervonta Davis will face Lomachenko. But if Lomachenko faces Gervonta Davis at lightweight, you got to give him his props if he wins. If Gervonta wins, got to give Gervonta his props. Because Gervonta Davis been fighting cab drivers, right? I mean, he did win back the WBA championship from Jesus Cuellar, who will be fighting this weekend, I believe. Jesus Cuellar will be fighting this weekend against, can't remember who. At a higher weight class. I think he's fighting at lightweight now. Or is he fighting at super lightweight? I can't remember. But yeah, Jesus Cuellar will be fighting this. And Jesus Cuellar was a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. Just Gervonta was landing some really nice body punches on him. He's a good fighter though. But nonetheless, I mean, shit, it was a vacant belt. And I don't even want to talk about it, okay? Because Gervonta really, when I think about Gervonta Davis, I get frustrated, okay? How they moving him along is like super slow now. He was going really fast against Jose Pedraza. It was a great fight and shit, and then they just slowed the fuck down. And he just started fighting guys, and we were like, who's this guy? Who's that? Who the fuck is that? We've been saying it over and over again. I'm like, What the fuck? And he, in the meantime, he been getting star power and all that shit, and that's all well and good. But I don't give a fuck because it's like, who is he facing though? You know, I guess we get a little impatient as fans as time goes along, and maybe we should be easier on the fighters because we're really putting. I think in this day and age, we're putting a lot more pressure on fighters than we ever have, and I think it's because of social media and the fact that everything's immediate and UFC where people get the matchups they want and Bellator and that kind of shit. So people are like very impatient. They're like, they're gonna spend 2 minutes. Okay, who's these fighters? Okay, cool, cool. What we watching? Okay, cool, cool. And if it don't get their attention, people move on to the next, and they gone. You know what I'm saying? People don't have no fucking patience these days. I'm still old school, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna show you guys about boxing and blah 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 blah. Motherfuckers don't care. Like they don't care. They're not like that. People are looking. They're gonna tune in. You know, like for instance, I bet your belly button dollar. DAZN is going to get a lot of subscribers off of the Logan Paul versus KSI fight. More subscribers than they did for Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. More subscribers than they did Triple G versus Derevchenko. Trust me. And it's going to be crazy. A lot of people be like, what the fuck? And they're going to be like, when's the next Logan Paul versus KSI? They're going to be more interested about Logan Paul versus KSI than about actual fucking boxing. And you know why? Because people are getting directly what they want. Logan Paul versus KSI. We get that fucking fight. Hell yeah. Versus Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Are we going to get that fight? Next year. Fuck out of here. I'm gone. You know what I mean? So, you know, if they say, you know, the best fighter in the world right now is Terrence Crawford. Yeah. Yeah. And the best welterweight in the world is Errol Spence. Yeah. When they going to fight? Next year. Okay. Whatever. Because people live in the moment these days. They like don't give a fuck if you going to do something down the road. They don't care about that shit. And people just don't get it. Like, boxing takes a good old fucking time to do whatever you want to do and still draw the most amount of cash. But with KSI versus Logan Paul and with Bernard Hopkins versus Roy Jones Jr. and with Clarissa Shields versus Terrence Crawford, I'm going to keep on saying it over and over again. I know y'all don't want to hear that shit. And with Mayweather Sr. versus Sugar Ray Leonard, it's gonna be good. For sure, Logan Paul versus KSI, people gonna jump on boxing. For sure. DAZN's doing a great job because they're gonna pull in some subscribers and then people gonna learn a little bit about boxing because they really trying to teach people on DAZN about boxing, which is good. I'm glad to hear that. You know, I just hope they keep it up. And don't build no fucking narratives and, you know, favor one guy over another guy. You know, keep it strictly boxing. Just because Canelo, you know, I predicted Canelo to knock out Kovalev. You never know what could happen in that ring. Anything could happen in that ring. And Kovalev could outbox Canelo. He can knock out Canelo. You just never know. All right? He is the bigger guy, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, this is what I think. I think that the franchise championship belt is not necessary in boxing, in my personal opinion. Some people will say it's great because it brands, and the WBC now, they're branded. WBC don't need no fucking money because as far as I'm concerned, they are the premier sanctioning body in boxing. Everybody respects the fucking WBC. Their convention was aired, all that kind of shit. Nobody airs the WBO convention. You hear anybody talking about the WBO convention or the WBA convention or the IBF convention? Nobody talks about that shit. I'm just saying. But maybe some people do. But, you know, the WBC convention is aired every fucking year, okay? Suleiman's been doing a great job with the WBC in terms of branding. But in terms of the WBC, you know, all the work they do with cancer and all that stuff, right? But when it comes to the WBC and what they're doing at present, I think the best sanctioning body so far is the IBF. I don't always like it. I don't like that they enforce mandatories, but they're very strict on their mandatory shit. So they get as many people their chances that they need to get. The IBF is the most straightforward in all of them. You know, the WBA and the WBC been doing some really funky ass shit, which has to do with branding. You know, and it is what it is. Okay. The WBO Oh my God. What can I say about the WBO? The WBO is one of those belts that is sort of promoter owned, kind of. You know, I mean, Demetrius Andrade always had a WBO belt. Top Rank is known for the fucking WBO belt, like they own that shit. and and Frank Warren seems to own the WBO belt, so you know, I mean, I'm surprised that Sergey Kovalev got it. You know, Main Events got one piece in the WBO, but I mean, come on, goddamn it. You know, but it is what it is. I hope that the WBO, you know, it's the youngest of all the belts, and so it's the least prestigious of the belts, and it's not the most beautiful either. All right, I'm finished with this. Let me move on. Okay, so this is up for sale. So there's an old ass television here. Let me show you guys the television. None of y'all can buy it, so forget about it. We're in Trinidad. This is the television. Kept in pretty good condition. So I've just been cleaning it up a bit. Yeah, so the WBO, baby. The WBO. The WBO is, what I can say about that, boy? They're privately owned. They're in Puerto Rico, but god damn it, I think they should be in wherever Bob Arum lives. That's Bob Arum's belt, man. More likely, Bob Arum's top ranked fighters mostly fight for that belt. Even though, strangely enough, Jose Ramirez, he was a WBC champion, which is great for him. You know, he's WBC, not WBO. And then he won the WBO belt from Maurice Hooker, who was really with Matchroom, I think it is, and DAZN. So that's kind of interesting. But we just say that. I don't know if it's true that I know Bobby has a good relationship with the WBO. He should. Most of his fighters have their belt, so he should have a good relationship with them. You know what I mean? It'd be stupid if he didn't. Yeah. But yeah, the WBO, man. People have less respect for the WBO, but hopefully in time they'll have more respect for it. Bro, much easy for you. Much easy for me. And people can jump onto. Yeah, man. That's EJ Boxing Live. I wish I could get you guys to talk on this live stream. The new belt is just like the one Ted DiBiase had on WWF. Nobody would win it. Yep. It's like one of those token belts. It's like a token belt. This franchise championship belt is like a token belt. It's like an honorary belt, a badge of honor. You know what I'm saying? It's like saying, listen, motherfucker, you don't need no more belts. Fuck the belts. You're just gonna represent the WBC from here on in. That's what it means. It's not even a belt that has to do with weight class or anything anymore. You know, and technically they're stripping the people of the WBC belt, but it's a technical strip. You know what I'm saying? But it's not really a strip because it's like you're a champion for life. You just go represent us. Fuck them belts. You don't have to pay no sanctioning fees. Just run through there and just, you know, be a champion that you are. You're a champion for life as far as we're concerned. No matter if you lose. It's just so fucking funny when I think about what the WBC is doing. But hey, it is what it is. I don't know what else to say. The $1 Million Man, you remember him? Shit, yes. Yes, I do. I mean, he's funny as fuck, man. I don't know what else to say. They do so much crazy shit in boxing. You left speechless. You're like, oh, well. And they said a committee voted on that shit. Boxing is hilarious, isn't it? Oh my God. So I don't know. I don't think Canelo will come down in weight like that anyway, because I was listening to I don't know, I feel he'll return to 160. I don't, the way how he's eating good, I don't think he will want to reverse. So if he wins at light heavyweight, he might just end up staying at light heavyweight or go down to super middle. Maybe go down to super middle, but I don't think Canelo's coming back down to middleweight. You can forget about that. His middleweight days are over. Andre and they will have to come up to super middle maybe to face Canelo. Yeah, so I don't think, and he even said it. They were like, "You think you're going back down to middleweight?" Canelo's like, "I don't know." He eating good. The boy eating good. I don't think that boy gonna go back down. That's it for middleweight. Oh my god. So it is what it is. If he gets his ass beat at light heavyweight, he may have to go down, like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. But we'll see what happens. But the boy eating good, boy. He's thinking, man. When they asked him how's your diet and shit, dude's face light up. He was happy. He started talking about how I had lots of carbs and all kinds of other things. I was like, I'm like, dude, be saying, you know what? I think I like this. Oh man, you know what it is to sacrifice. You can't even eat a whole set of stuff. You can't eat like normal people. We eat really comfortably, you know. That motherfucker can't eat like we do. Next week, Floyd versus Manny for. Yeah, this is good. For the new Gucci belt. The WBC Gucci belt, man. And guess what, Floyd? You could have as many rounds as you want. If you want to just be one round, two. You know what I'm saying? Some ridiculous shit like that. Oh my God. Oh man, it's just so stupid. But it is what it is, man. I mean, you just have to laugh it off and say, you know what? It is what it is. Maurice Suleiman believes in the belt. They are ambassadors for the sport, like they needed to be an ambassador by having a franchise belt. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's there now. It is what a reality. We don't know how long it'll stay. But until then, we have this ridiculous thing called the franchise belt. And it is what it is. I mean, what can we do about it? Nothing. Once we get good fights, that's what I count. That's what matters for me. You know, once the guys in day with the franchise belt are facing really good boxers and really good champions, I'm cool with it. But if they're gonna face like the Bum of the Month Club, man, fuck them. You know what I mean? You know, if Vasily Lomachenko says he's going down to super featherweight, and conveniently he's going down to super featherweight, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody else has come up to lightweight to face him, and now he's going to look to go down to super featherweight. Fine, whatever, you know. But I just hope he would face at least one of these young, strong champions. Teofimo Lopez, yeah, he's good, but we saw flaws in his game, and so we're not really hyped up about Teofimo Lopez facing Vasily Lomachenko. Obviously, he may face him, or he may face Richard Comey. The red hot guys in the division, though, are not those, right? The red hot guys are Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney, right? You know, he may face Shakur Stevenson by Stevenson going up to super featherweight if he gets a title at featherweight. He's got his fight this weekend. So if he goes up to super featherweight and faces Lomachenko super featherweight, maybe we'll get that fight there. There's Tevin Farmer at super featherweight, as well as there's Berchelt. I'm hearing that Berchelt might face a Jamal Harris. Jamal Harris, right? I think it's Jamal Harris. He might face him, so that's a good fight. Or, you know, Tevin Farmer versus Berchelt. We need to see them unify, man. You know what I like about the super lightweight division? Them guys just got their belts and they unified, okay? Fucking super featherweight division, nobody trying to unify, okay? Nobody's trying to unify at super featherweight. Nobody's trying to unify at featherweight. Josh Warrington's talking about unifying, but he ain't doing shit, right? Nobody's trying to unify at featherweight, okay? It's what it is, and it's really fucking disgusting, okay? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. You know, got all these guys in the division. Super welterweight, they unified. Welterweight, they unified. Okay? But come on, what is wrong with you pussies? Y'all need to unify. At least Lomachenko's unified. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got the strongest competition in the world, but he's unified, right? And this is the kind of shit that we have to put up with. I know unifications are not everything in boxing. I know that people, it's hard to do unification shit like that. I don't understand. But I mean, come on, man. At least in certain divisions, in the light heavyweight division, they're unified. It's great. You know? Super middleweight division, they may unify. We'll watch and see. You know? These young champions. Benavidez talking about facing, what was the kid name? I forgot his name. Right? But dumbass Billy Joe Saunders don't look like he's going to unify with nobody. All right? He looked like he was sitting there under the WBO belt again. Right? He ain't even talking about Demetrius Andrade. The shit is just annoying like fucking shit, man. If you're going to Caleb Plant, thank you very much, Ant This Smooth. Man, I'm tired of bullshit. These bullshit champions who get a belt and then they just sit on that belt. I'm just talking like a fan right now because I'm just so annoyed. You know, but honestly, I'm sure many boxing fans have said this already. I know we need to have patience. I understand all of that. But come on, man. You see all these other divisions, they unify, right? Ruiz, Anthony Joshua, say what you want about Anthony Joshua. He unified belts. He unified fucking belts. Nobody else did. Deontay Wilder ain't unified shit yet. Okay? He hasn't unified shit yet. While Anthony Joshua was going and getting all the belts, this motherfucker was sitting on a WBC belt fighting bums. Let's be real. Let's be real about it. He was fighting bums. What did he call himself? Bomb Squad. And everybody praised him for that shit. Man, fuck out of here. I'm just saying. Yeah, we got the super bantamweight division where they unified as well. They got super series there too. I mean, come on, peoples. Come on. You know what I'm saying? You know? The fights we really want to see. Sometimes we're not seeing them, and it really is annoying, at least at the period of time, right? Everybody wanted to see Demetrius Andrade versus Canelo Alvarez. Everybody wanted to see the Charlo brothers versus Canelo Alvarez. So far, many years later, we still haven't seen that shit. 5 fucking years later. Let's be real. As fight fans, that's what's annoying to us. It's fucking annoying. It's annoying as fuck. Now we see super lightweight champions actually facing each other. All right? You know, as fight fans, there's certain fights you just don't understand why they're not being made. And the fighters will give you all kinds of excuses, but at the end of the day, they're not being made. And we as fight fans want to see it. We just want to see it. I know. Sometimes we behave like assholes. I get it. But we want to see those fights. And now, in this age, we're getting the opportunity to see a lot of them. And I'm so glad about that. Terrence Crawford unified a division. The only problem with that shit was we didn't really look forward to none of those fucking fights. The only fight I think I was just slightly interested in that he unified with was Victor Postol. I was like, Victor Postol versus Terrence Crawford. That's a good fight, man. I want to see how Terrence will beat Victor Postol. It wasn't about who would win. Is it a 50-50 fight? Nobody was I wasn't thinking that. You know what I'm saying? But Reggie Prograis versus Josh Taylor. People think it's a 50-50 fight. And it's really fair enough because they're up-and-coming fighters. And I kind of like it. I like that. Nolito Donaire versus Nairo Inoue. Some people think Inoue is going to murder Donaire. I'm back in Donaire. I'm saying the old guy might just pull it off, man. Y'all just don't know. Donaire been already exceeding our expectations. It's best weight class. Let's see. It's great to talk about. Those are the kind of fucking fights, right? Yeah, people thinking that Kovalov might beat Canelo, might even stop him. Some people talking about Canelo coming up in weight. He gonna stop Kovalov, right? Those are good fights, right? So, I mean, that's the kind of thing we want as fight fans. Not that I really was expecting a Canelo versus Kovalov. That kind of came out of left field. I really am looking forward to like a Canelo versus Demetrius fucking Andrade or motherfucking Canelo versus fucking Jamal Charlo, you know what I'm saying? Or Jamal Charlo versus Demetrius Andrade, or fucking Billy Joe Saunders versus Jamal Charlo, or the fucking Billy Joe Saunders versus fucking Danny Jacobs. We're not getting that shit. Instead, we get Danny Jacobs versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And we're like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? But hey, whatever rolls your boat, ninjas. But if we had to see people face because they have unfinished business in another fucking weight class, it would have been Danny Jacobs versus Billy Joe Saunders. Doesn't that make sense to you guys? Right? Because they have history. They have been in the same fucking weight class so fucking long. Danny Jacobs and Billy Joe Saunders has been in middleweight for how many years? 3, 4 years? What the fuck? And they still haven't faced each other. And they're top in their division. What the fuck is going on? You ask yourself. You know? Instead, Billy Joe Saunders be facing dud after dud after dud. And we had to put up with this shit. That's what annoys the fight fans. Because today is not like yesteryear. Fight fans today want it now. We want it now. We want it now. Give us it now. Not 2 years from now. Not 3 years from now. Now. That's how fight fans are. You can't deliver? Fuck you. We move on to something else. Right? And that's just the way how it goes. Now they talk about boxing earns a lot of money and shit. But you have to understand the times are changing. You better change with the times. All right, nobody gonna give a fuck about your fights. You may earn some revenue here or there. Nobody gonna care because you got to deliver on the fights that fans want to see. You have to deliver, baby. You have to deliver on it. And this day and age, you can't take 2, 3, 4, 5 fucking years to do that. The age of Mayweather versus Pacquiao is over, ninja. Over. Mayweather and Pacquiao could have done that because there was a lot of great talent around them at the time. In this day and age where everybody up and coming, there ain't nobody, not even Canelo, who's immune to that shit. You've got to make the fights the fans want to see. But then you can do your own thing. It doesn't matter. And that's why some people tune out of boxing. They're like, nah, I'm not interested in boxing no more. Because you're not giving them fights to stimulate their imagination. This guy's good. This guy's good. Who do you think will win? You're not giving them that. You're giving them one-sided fucking fights. Fights that you know this guy's going to win. And that shit only goes so far. So, the powers that be need to be smart about it, man. It's not just about branding. The only way a brand is really going to be a brand in a sport of boxing is by proving itself to be great. What's the use, that Anthony Yard is branded with Adidas? So is fucking Amir Khan. What does that mean? Amir Khan's also branded with Adidas. He's a brand. So he's a fucking useless brand when it comes to boxing. They trying to keep him alive, but boxing fans know he useless. Oh, he got many years on his ticker tape. If he fight bums, for sure, like how he fought that featherweight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he got many tickers on the tape. If he fighting little guys, I'm just saying. Yes. Oh my god. It was something really funny I was thinking about. KSI versus Logan Paul, right? And they were showing Logan Paul's flexibility. And Logan Paul did a split and all that shit. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck? What the fuck does this have to do with boxing? I thought it was really funny and hilarious how, Shannon Briggs be hyping up Logan Paul. Look how flexible he is. Look, champ is he? I was like, I'm sure when he looks back at it, he's probably laughing about the shit he said. Shannon Briggs is funny as fuck. But he can't, again, branding. Let's go, champ. It's a brand. And he did well for himself doing that. And that's what they're so there's a lot of branding going on. And from this now you can sell t-shirts, you can actually you're doing a lot of business outside of just fucking boxing. If you look at Peter Quillen, he's set up for life as a businessman. He keep your chin in the air when he boxing, but he's set for life. Boxing created that avenue for him to be able to do other things. He's using the money from boxing as capital to start other ventures. KP from Casey says Lomachenko versus Inu. They said Lomachenko versus Inu. Inu? No, man. Inu's a fucking bantamweight right now. What the fuck? That's some kind of whack ass shit, man. Come on. Joseph Parker asked the WBO and came to Wilder fight, then went to AJ instead. What I mean? That don't mean nothing. Did he fight him? No. So it doesn't mean shit. And this Smooth says Bitter BF versus Canelo. What about it? At 168. Why? Why at 168? Gotta be at 175. You're a 175 champion. Unified at that. Why would he go to 168? If Canelo gonna face him, he's gonna face him at 175. Especially if he fought at 175. It's only fair. Why 168? That's bullshit. I'm just saying Anthony Smooth. Shout out to Anthony Smooth, by the way. Hold on 1 second. There you go. It's 5:38 in the afternoon. I gotta go and do some things. But yeah. Yes, people, charge up this shit. So anyways, yes, man, Anthony Smooth, shout out to you guys, man. There you go. Yeah, so I gotta get out of here, but before I go, I want to just let all you guys know that I don't get no money for likes because I don't work with Google like that, so I don't get paid by Google. But it's nice to see you guys liking my videos. As I said before, we're trying to monetize this channel. I'm going to work along with Tommy Temper as well as Get This Smoke to make not just my channel monetized, but them also as we do business together. No Poopy is strong. You can run it back. You can run it back. But we were just talking about the franchise championship, and of course Canelo versus Kovalev, which I may watch. You never know. I think I might go out tonight and watch the Joker movie. I'm taking the Joker movie. But I haven't really talked much on the other channel. I do films as well, and talking about films that I enjoyed and like. But anyways, man, peoples, it's really nice talking with you guys. As usual, we chop it up. EJ Boxing Live. Shout out to EJ. You know what I'm saying. Shout out also to everybody that came on this chat. If you guys have a channel that I could promote, let me know. Don't forget, you guys can check out Hybrid 95's channel. Hybrid 95, HYBRID 95. He has some good stuff he talked about on the franchise championship belt. Poopy Sister says, by the way, bro, I thought you were 27 years old. Once upon a time, many moons ago, buddy, many moons ago, a big old ass man, like 44, going on 45 in a couple months' time. Not too long from now, about 4 more months' time, I'll be 45. Yeah, I'm an old motherfucker. Very old. You can call me an OG very soon. I'll be 50. 5 more years' time, I'll be 50 years old. Yeah, it's like that, man. Time flies. But I'll tell you something, though. I'm one of those people who's flexible. So, for instance, this franchise championship belt, as much as I think it's somewhat idiotic, I can understand what they're trying to do with it. And I understand the age I'm in, where it's branding. It's all about branding and shit like that. So I understand what moves they're actually making and the audience that they are looking to capture. So I understand why they're doing this for Canelo and even for Lomachenko. They're lining them up for bigger things, and they want to be part of it. The WBC wants to be part of that. So I get what they're doing. I just don't think that in the pure sense of the word, that if you're talking divisional championships and undisputed, I don't think that helps that cause. Is undisputed overrated? To some degree, it is. It's really about who you face and who you beat. Undisputed just simply means you've gotten all 4 belts. Doesn't mean that you're the best in the division. If you really think about it, there are guys sometimes better than you that you just haven't faced them yet. And that means you have to defend your undisputed title against the very best. Because it's always about the best facing the best, right? That's why, for me, when I said about the Clarissa Shields, and I always talk about this, you're going to hear me talking about it in almost every single video. Clarissa Shields versus Terrence Crawford is an example of the best facing the best. If you say that Terrence Crawford is pound for pound #1 in the world, and you say Clarissa Shields is #1 pound for pound in the world in terms of women's boxing, well, who's the best pound for pound fighter, period? And the only way is to match up the best with the best, if it's possible. If they're close enough in weight range to make it happen, why not have them fight each other? And you decide how many rounds and whatever, but you have them fight each other so you know who is undisputably the best. And as women's boxing is evolving, it's got a long ways to go, don't get me wrong. As women's boxing evolves and catches up to where male boxing is, which is way ahead of it. But I just think that these new set of women boxers today are truly going to put women's boxing on a serious footing. On a serious footing. Obviously, women boxers are not as refined and not as good as men boxers. We know that. So we're getting more scraps than that. But having said all of that, I do think that women's boxing has come a fucking long way from 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. It's come a much longer way. You know, this is why Clarissa Shields could say she's the greatest of all time right now, because she's definitely better than Layla Ali and any one of those women boxers, because she's accomplished so much in so little time. And I do think there'll be more women going into boxing and all that shit. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah, but having said all of that, once again, I think that boxing is evolving and it's changing on a daily basis, and some of the changes we're not going to agree with, and some of the changes we'll agree with, because some things will be accepted and some things will go away. And remember, a lot of people talk about undisputed and they want undisputed and they want undisputed. Listen, which one do you prefer? A guy who becomes undisputed but he ain't really faced nobody, or a guy who never became undisputed but he faced names? Now, some people say, well, names is too much. It's overrated. It's just because this guy, we know this guy, we know that guy. No, motherfucker. That is not true. There are names which are overrated, like Amir Khan right now. But he did some stuff, but he's no longer at the top of the game. Faded, and he needs to get out of the game. I get that. But what I'm talking about is, you look at Kovalev. You look at, Ward. You look at, when we say names, motherfucker, names. You know what I mean? Canelo's a name for a reason. He's not just a name because he's Canelo. He's a name because he fought some motherfuckers. Gennady Golovkin is a name in boxing because he fought motherfuckers. He defended so many times and all that shit, right? So I'm just saying is names. That's what you really want. You don't want, yeah, the world titles and all that shit is good. And then, it's a nice accomplishment. It's like window dressing and shit. But really, it don't mean shit if you have not fought names. It's who you fought, who you beat at the end of the day. So that's why I keep on telling people, they talk about, oh, it's great to be undisputed, and undisputed means you're a real man. But you might be the real man of what? Tinseltown? What does that mean? And when you step up into another division where there are real men everywhere, where do you rank? I'm just saying. People talk about undisputed. Yeah, that's cool, and it's kind of an achievement. But if your route to undisputed means you did not face names, why the fuck do I care? Mike Tyson was undisputed champion of the world. Beat a faded Michael Spinks, who was injured, and he beat a Larry Holmes on his way to being undisputed. But who were the guys that he beat to become undisputed? Y'all don't even know their names. You might know one or two. Some of the OGs know their names. We'll say they were good fighters, but they weren't great fighters. Were they now? Right? Sugar Ray Leonard beat Thomas the fucking Hitman Hearns. Hearns was still establishing himself, but to become undisputed. Right? That counts for some shit. I mean, there's only 2 belts, but nonetheless. It counts for some shit, right? Defended this title against Roberto Duran, lost his title to Roberto Duran, then gave it back. And then he faced Thomas Hearns, right? And for names. Names, motherfucker. Names! You know what I mean? That undisputed means something. But if you're fighting, I mean, at the time, Roberto Duran was good. He wasn't great, right? He became great afterwards, I would say. But the point is that at the time when he faced Leonard, he was a name. Like, people were like, oh, fucking Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran, just going through everybody, right? Thomas the Hitman Hearns, he had an aura around him. Oh, man, you're talking about the Hitman, right? We don't get that anymore with Undisputed. We don't get fights where we're like, man, he's bad, and he's bad. No, who's going to win in the 2? We don't know. We're getting that with Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, if they unify. But we don't get that every day. Usyk, I mean, he became undisputed. Great for him. You know what I'm saying? It's a great achievement. There was 2 really, good fights he had. You look at, Terrence Crawford became undisputed. Got 1 or 2 good names in there. Actually, only 1, Victor Pessoa, but it is what it is. Right? But my point being, names make a bigger difference in your road to becoming undisputed. Take, for instance, who did Lennox Lewis beat to become undisputed champion of the world? One of them was Klitschko. Vitaly motherfucking Klitschko. Right? I think so. Or was he defending? I can't remember. Right? Did Evander Holyfield ever become undisputed? Maybe he did. I don't know. But, I mean, if Deontay Wilder beats, say for instance, Andy Ruiz, become undisputed, it's great. I don't know how that fight would pan out, to be honest with you. This depending on if Andy Ruiz beats Anthony Joshua, right? If Andy Ruiz beats Deontay Wilder to become undisputed, great. Maybe later on they become great fighters. But the point is, when you look at what Anthony Joshua did, he collected 3 of the 4 belts, 1 by 1. Yes, he fought Klitschko for a vacant one. Yes, he fought Southpaw guy, which I can't remember his name right now, for the IBF. But at the end of the day, and he fought Joseph Parker for the WBO, right? He fought people to get that belt. Not names. It was good fighters. The only name he fought was Klitschko. But he collected the belts. Daniel Ruiz took them from him. So, at the end of the day, belts are great. But if you can fight somebody who people feel either is better than you or someone that's a 50-50 fight, that's better than facing someone who everybody expects you to beat. See? So, I thought that Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker was a good matchup because they were both world champions. That turned out well. Klitschko versus Joshua, I favor Joshua. But again, it was a good fight. Joshua versus the left-handed guy I thought it was a one-sided fight, so it is what it is. But at the end of the day, he had two really good fights compared to Publicis Okay. Publicis says entertainment itself is all about glitz and glamour and not about substance. Some entertainment, not all. You know. Boxing Monster says salute. Salute to you, brother. Salute to you, brother. So yeah, we've talked for 2 hours and 5 minutes about boxing. It was great talking with you guys. I got to split out of here and do a couple other things. But while my phone is charging here in the port, I wish you guys a good day. You know, don't stress yourself out about some of the stupid things you see in boxing. Just focus on the names. Who is this guy going to face? Who's this guy going to beat? Follow the names. And always don't ever commit to nothing. You know, there's a lot of times in boxing where people will tantalize you by saying, this fight might happen and this fight might happen. Until the motherfuckers end up inside of the squared circle, don't believe the shit. Wait. And if they end up in the ring together, great. You know, because talk is cheap. It's really what they do, not what they say. Don't matter what the promoters say, don't matter what nobody say. Wait till they get into the ring. If you see them squared off inside the square circle, then it's go time. And you could be happy about that. Right? So that's how I look at things, and that's how you take it as a boxing fan. Instead of getting tripped out and then you guys lose your shit because Lomachenko's a franchise champion. Hey man, think about it. Think about it. Just really think about it. It was heading that direction, right? It was always heading weird rumors about that, and now it's become reality. So it is what it is. And there's nothing we can change about that, and now he gets to pick and choose who he wants to face, and that's just what it is. All right? That's boxing for you. All right? He put himself in a position to be able to do that. Okay, he accomplished quite a lot in a short space of time he was in the pros. So he's put himself in that position. We can't be angry at him. We can't be mad at him. The WBC decided to bestow this on him. He never requested it. So we can't be mad at Lomachenko for that. We can't be mad at Canelo for it. The WBC took it upon themselves to make this new fucking title, honorary title, and it is what it is. All right? It's what it is. Now, everybody's happy. Jamal Charlo, he got himself a WBC belt, but he's a paper champion as far as I'm concerned. Devin Haney's happy because he got the WBC belt. They always wanted to be world champion. Now they are. It's just like Keith Thurman. He just became WBA regular champ. He never really fought the man to be able to get it. It's what it is. They're satisfied. I guess that's where that goes. The only people who are not satisfied is you and I as the fans, because we feel they should fight for it and they should fight the actual champion for the belt. And that is yesterday's thinking, apparently. That is outdated now. It's about branding. So it is what it is. Whether we like it or we don't like it, that's how it is now. What we have to expect of these now champions so that they can show that they really are champions is now they have to step up and face some real competition. I can see Jamal Charlo trying to fight some of the guys on his level. Guys like Demetrius Andrade, Derevyanchenko, Canelo. He's still trying to get the Canelo fight. Wish him the best of luck with that. I don't think Canelo's coming back down to middleweight. So if you want a Canelo fight, you're going to have to move up, brother. And that's just what that is. Um, so at the end of the day, maybe Triple G, if Triple G don't duck everybody and just keep on doing mandatories, because he doesn't have to face Jamal Charlo. He doesn't have to face Demetrius Andrade. That's what you all got to understand. When you are a boxing champion, the only thing you are obligated to face is your mandatories, unless the fans really press for it. You know, he could just sit down and just chump on mandatories for the rest of his career. Yeah, Triple G. He could say he want this and he could say he want that, but at the end of the day, it's what he do. So we'll see what happens with Triple G's career if he wants to do any more big fights. I'm sure he wants big fights, but he wants it with low risk, very low risk. He's not willing to face these young strong champions. If they build up a resume, oh, he won't resist it, because then now there's a paycheck in there. You know what I'm saying? If there's a paycheck, he's gonna go for it. But if there's no paycheck to be gathered, what the fuck is he doing that for? You know, he built up his legacy. He don't want them building their legacy off of him. That's how he's gonna reason it out. So, I mean, he may face one of them. You never know. But as of now, I don't think so. I think he's going to face his mandatories. All these motherfuckers have to face their mandatories. So they all will be facing their mandatories. And then after that, we'll see what happens. It is what it is. That's boxing for you, you know. So if you guys are fight fans, you know, go to the fights you want to see. The fights you don't want to see. There's so much boxing out there now. It's not like the days of HBO and Showtime where there was just this limited amount of boxing you could have seen, and you got a little bit of Friday night fights on ESPN and maybe some fights on Fox. Now we got boxing all over the place. This coming weekend's gonna be lit. You can see fights on DAZN. You can see fights on ESPN. You're gonna be having fights on Showtime. You're gonna be having fights all over the place. So you guys got the opportunity of a lifetime. This is the time, the best time for boxing in a long time. It's wide open to everybody. The playing fields, people can do all kinds of things. The boxers can do all kinds of things. The fans can have all kinds of choices. Go with your choices. Go with what floats your boat. For me, Reggie's Pro Grade versus Josh Taylor is the must-see TV. You know, the others are not so great. I mean, you know, we got Lubin facing whoever, and we got a nice even fight in Adrian Granados versus Robert Easter Jr. That should be an interesting fight. I don't know how that'll turn out. But, you know, I got Granados on that. I don't know. I think he should do well. But at the end of the day, you know, this is the kind of thing that we got in boxing. You got to deal with it. You got to live with it. And that's just the way how that goes. All right? As to all those people out there who Monster Boxing Monster says Charlo needs to prove he can compete with a legit 160 first. He faced Matt Korobov. You forgot that? He's a legit 160. By the way, Matt Korobov, he's going to be facing Chris Eubank Jr. It's a good fight, too. Chris Eubank Jr., you know, he's very active, throws a lot of punches. But Matt Korobov, he's sneaky with that left hand. He got a great left hook. So it should be good. Chris Eubank Jr. is going to be a massive 160, though. But it's something I would like to see. I would love to see Danny Jacobs versus Chris Eubank Jr. at 168. I would love to see Danny Jacobs versus Billy Joe Saunders. I love a rematch with Chris Eubank Jr. and Billy Joe Saunders. I think Billy Joe Saunders still beat him, but I would like to see Chris Eubank Jr. face guys like Callum Smith and David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. And we got all these names. We got names. We literally got a division of fucking names. These are names, man. Names. We got name division up in there. That's why I don't understand. We got names. We got actual names in boxing. And every division is stacked. Most divisions are stacked. So I don't understand. I think Korobov beat Charlo. Well, there you go. There you go. So, see, he's a 160 pounder. Legit. You know, so I think that Jamal Charlo, I'd love to see him facing a name. You know, Matt Korobov is a kind of name, but he never been a world champion. We want somebody who's been at the top of the game. Top of the game gets the top of the game. So let's see Charlo versus Demetrius Andrade. Let's see Charlo versus Yeah. Carl Buff. That did him a favor though. Carl Buff was well rested and stuff, so that did him well. But my point being anyway that we need to see more of these names face each other. We're seeing it in the welterweight and in the super lightweight, super lightweight division. We're seeing it in the super bantamweight division. We're seeing it in the light heavyweight division. You know, you need to see more of this in boxing. So it is what it is. We'll see how the super series are really good things. They really force people to have to face each other. I think that's a good thing. Anyways, I gotta get out of here. I'll see you guys later. Got a couple things I gotta do, so let me get them done. But Boxing Monster says I got Reggie's by unanimous decision. Peace. I think a lot of us got Reggie's pro grade. I can't really specifically tell you why I picked Reggie's pro grade. I just picked him. I didn't really think it all the way through. You know, Josh Taylor, he's a much bigger guy. You know, can box. Got a great trainer, same trainer that trained Luke Campbell. So they're gonna have a great game plan. Reggie's pro grade, you know, a little sloppy. He's not as accurate as Josh Taylor, but he does have power, and he has a versatility. He has a lot of skills. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I can't really say who definitively will win. I favor Reggie's pro grade to win because I saw more of him in interviews and shit. And he been talking the talk. So that's why I'm picking him. But as to say, I'm doing it from a boxing perspective, but no, nothing to do with boxing. I just arbitrarily picked him. It's kind of like with Bitterbiev. I've seen more Bitterbiev than Gvozdek, and so I picked Bitterbiev. You know, just thinking of his style and how he boxes and how he's smart when he boxes and sets up people and stuff like that. I thought, well, Bitterbiev. I didn't really go into it deeply. Sometimes your first impression is exactly the right one. You should just go with that. Stick with it. All right, peoples. So I'm out of here. 2 hours and 16 minutes and 39 seconds. We really chopped it up. Anybody else who want to talk boxing, we can always talk boxing. I have not done no fucking training or work or exercise or none of that. And that's terrible. I don't trust Brits in boxing. Why not? They're very fanatical about boxing. And they do well. I mean, I looked at Luke Campbell versus Vasily Lomachenko. He did very well. He didn't cheat or nothing. So I trust British boxing. I don't care what nobody say. I trust British boxing. They're pretty reasonable. They really respect boxing. They really love boxing. Of late, they've been getting the short end of the stick. Anthony Joshua got stopped. We had Dillian White in this controversy, which still needs to be cleared up. He's cleared by the British Boxing Board of Control and UKAD, but the WBC is still investigating it, and WBC is taking a fucking long time to investigate this shit. This man should be cleared a long time ago if he's supposed to be cleared and just end the story, but that's not what we're getting so far. The WBC just be doing it, like indefinitely been researching this shit, and I find that bullshit. Okay. And some people say, well, where's the B sample? And I'm like, what B sample? Y'all still going with Thomas Hauser's bullshit? Like, I don't think there's anything to do with a B sample. You can't clear him. There's no B sample to find. You know, it's just one of those funny shits, but it is what it is. Dog are related to Blue Blood? Who? Am I related to Blue Blood? No, I'm not related to Blue Blood. You favor him a bit. I favor Blue Blood? No, I don't favor Blue Blood. How you go? I don't understand. How do I favor Blue Blood? Blue Blood and me, we have two different opinions on many things. Like I say that Floyd Mayweather is the best ever. Blue Blood doesn't agree with that. It's a lot of things I have a different opinion than Blue Blood on. Period. You know, Blue Blood favors Deontay Wilder, you know, and that kind of thing. I don't really favor Deontay Wilder that much. Oh, you mean if I look like Blue Blood because of my beard and shit? I'm black like Blue Blood, but that's about it. I don't even talk like Blue Blood. Blue Blood talks deep, and I think he's a taller guy than I am. I'm nothing. Well, I guess I kind of resemble him right now, but I'm not. I'm nothing like Blue Blood, man. I'm a totally different cat. I guess because I have so much bushy beard on me and crazy looking hair, I look like Blue Blood right now. But Blue Blood, no, he's been around in boxing on YouTube for a while, and he's now doing interviews and stuff, and he's taking it to the next level. I like some of his videos. Don't get me wrong, and I do agree with him on some things. But no, we Blue Blood is a totally different cat to me. Yeah, he sees things differently than I do in many respects. But he's cool though. He's cool. He's all right. He's a boxing junkie. He a boxing junkie. Yeah. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Um, you know, don't take nothing to heart about boxing. Boxing is boxing. That's the way how it is. And a lot of times, sometimes the things that are done in boxing don't make no sense to the fans initially, and then it makes sense later on. I gotta go shave, all kinds of shit. But yeah, I'm really appreciative of you guys who are real boxing fans out there. Um, I'm trying to appreciate everything about boxing. It's a lot to take in. Sometimes you want to just laugh at certain things. You know, there's another guy I messed around with, Carcino. I haven't messed around with him in a while, but Carcino's a really cool dude. Yeah, Blue Blood puts out some pretty good content, and I like that sometimes he asks some of the really better questions from those interviewing other people. Usually, people interviewing fighters, they say a lot of, they ask some really dumbass questions, which are just really annoy me. You have more technical knowledge about boxing, and I like that. You break down fights. Yeah. Well, it's not really me. It's really coming from guys like Barry Robinson, Coach Eric Bradley, the Fight Doctor. I listen to interviews with fighters. Also, um, I have respect for guys like Troy King. Um, I get this smoke nose Troy King from the Bay Area, and those kinds of dudes. So when I talk, I'm not just talking from a political standpoint. I don't really give a fuck about political standpoints. I'm really talking from a perspective of the actual boxing itself, the preparation, the work that's put into boxing. Because I myself, I'm trying to get into boxing at this late age in my life. So it's that's why I try to break down things. And boxing is a doing sport. It's not really so much about talking. Like we're talking about boxing right now, but it's not really about talking about it. It's really about doing it. So, and if you don't do what you're supposed to be doing, then you're gonna be punished for it. So you have to do the right things so that you can protect yourself. Self-preservation. So that's why I talk so much boxing. Is because now I'm actually looking at actually doing it, which is a totally different thing. And I'm not talking about doing it like, throwing punches at a punching bag in the gym or going into the gym and just randomly sparring people. No, I'm not talking about that shit. I'm talking about like really doing it. So I have to take everything very seriously that I want to do. As you can see there, I just kind of felt a little stressed out thinking about it. Because I haven't trained in I haven't exercised at least. I haven't exercised my body in like 3 days. I'm fuck myself over if I don't start exercising. So I gotta get back into it. I feel great, but I need to exercise and continue to drink fluids and continue to eat properly. Every now and then I cheat, and I shouldn't cheat. So it's like these things, and you have to understand. At this late age in my life, I can get damaged much more easily, and not recoup very well than somebody who's younger who could repair much faster. So I really should take it ultra seriously because I have so much. I'm way behind the curve in terms of getting myself in shape and in order and just learning the shit in fucking sport to be able to even compete. So I'm way behind everybody else. So I really should take it seriously and not try to cut corners on anything. But physical shape and being on weight, I'm trying to make it to 154. I have never made 154 for a long time. I was 127 once upon a time when I was about 30. I went all the way down from 165 to 127. Yeah, I was a fucking super featherweight. That was because I was in a cold country and I was really just burning energy. I was a high energy guy, just burning off energy like crazy, and I just shrunk down to 127. Then I started to fast and shit, and so I wasn't doing boxing or anything, and I was a skeleton, but it was really cool. Um, but now I put on weight. I walk around 165, 167. Sometimes I get all the way up to 175. When I was really training and really doing well, I was at 175. So, I got to get back into it and got to get my weight down to 154. That's not been easy because I've had stomach problems and stuff. But by the time I get down to 154 again, I should be good. I don't have the stomach problems I used to have. So that's also a good sign that I've gotten healthy. Boxing really helped me to get back healthy. I like talking boxing, I like demonstrating boxing. I would love to become somebody who could, to some degree, be involved in the sport as a coach or something. That would be nice. But for now, I can't. I just don't believe you can really, truly understand boxing if you haven't really actually competed and actually done it. And depending on how things go, we're looking at 2021, where I'll actually compete with people in boxing, and we take it on a fight-by-fight basis, and we'll see how things go. If I make it out alive or I make it out okay. Sometimes your first fight could be one of the worst fights of your career, and then maybe your career blossoms after that. You just never know. Maybe you never know. You may be looking at a future world champion. You just never know. I want to go over something you said about Customano's training style. Yeah, sure, no problem. He trained Floyd Patterson, as you know. Yeah, so one of the things you'll find out about these fighters like Mike Tyson, like Chocolatito, and like Gennady Golovkin is, they're not really good at fighting going backwards. What they do is they sidestep you, they go around you, they spin around you, but they're constantly going forward. So they're forward. The way how their whole style is, even what's his name? Jack Dempsey. Their style is aggressive, so they constantly going forward. They may turn around you, they may go around you, but they're always going forward. That's just the way how the style is designed. All the weight is on the front foot. It's a front foot style. They have block punches and shit, and they'll just keep on going forward. Jake LaMotta was the same thing. That was his style. They can't fight going backwards. They can't. If you can push them backwards, and to push them backwards means you have to cut off the weak side. So they're always going to try and step around you going weak side. So you have to cut off the weak side, and then you push them back with your stick or with whatever. Patterson could fight on the back foot. I don't think he was very successful fighting on the back foot. That's why this guy stopped him. What's his name? Sonny Liston stopped his ass. If he was good on the back foot, he wouldn't have a problem. He's very suspect on the back foot. A front foot fighter. That's the style. Costumo is really good at that. Keeping the guy in perpetual motion going forward. So, and there's always benefits to that. Now, it's not easy to push a guy like those kinds of fighters, like Chocolatito, it's not easy to push them back. Even Gennady Golovkin, it's not easy to push him back. Seems easy, but it's not easy. It takes a lot of technical skill. It takes a lot of proper placement of your feet to be able to get these guys to... Even Lomachenko, he's not a front foot fighter. He can fight off the back foot, but when you cut off the weak side from him, so he can't come in through a weak side, now when you attack him, he's going to have to circle out, which means he's going to have to move backwards. So you can catch him on the back foot. Once you catch Lomachenko on the back foot, you constantly keep him on the back foot, and he can't escape and he can't reset, he's going to have to fight you. You're going to have the advantage if you got the reach advantage. So that's what Luke Campbell was doing, but at times, Lomachenko would force the action and get a body shot in on Luke Campbell, because Luke Campbell sometimes don't cut the angle right. And he would get a body shot Body shot on it. Campbell wouldn't like the body shot, and he'd move in the direction Lomachenko wanted him to move, which would be circling into the weak side. So Lomachenko gets to circle out and approach him weak side. And once he got the advantage foot-wise, he'd exploit it. So, in boxing, you just have to understand the dynamics of a fight. How a guy can enter. How a guy can get access to you. If he's shorter than you, how can he get access to you? One of the ways, there are a number of different ways, right? The first way is he's trying to come weak side. So he'll attack you, but you can't attack him. The other way is to go up and under, right? So he dip, or he bob and weave, and he comes in. Mike Tyson would do that. Hands high, bob and weave, and go up and under, right? Or dip under. While you coming in, you jabbing, coming in, a dip under. Bump you with this. Oh shit, hold on a second. I smelled something burning, but it wasn't me. It's somewhere in the back. Somebody's burning something. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so, yeah, that's what I was saying. There are different ways to enter your opponent. You can time your opponent. So you snap back, he throws his punch, and then you counter, right? Leaping left hook, whatever. Floyd Patterson do leaping left hook shit, stuff like that. So I'm just saying that yeah, I mean, Floyd Patterson was no Otto Bitterbiev. Let's put it that way. Bitterbiev can fight off the back foot. What I mean by that is he knows how to use the box step. Patterson squares up once you get him on the ropes. Bitterbiev don't do that. Like, Bitterbiev is fundamentally sound with boxing. He's slow as fuck, but he's fundamentally sound. Right? He got good timing, but he's fundamentally sound when it comes to boxing. With Patterson, why he get knocked the fuck out is because once it comes to back foot fighting, he's not that good at fighting on the back foot. He ain't no Muhammad Ali. And then on top of that, he ain't no... Who's the guy that was good at fighting off the back foot? Feather-fisted dude. What's his name? Feather-fisted dude that could fight off the back foot. I forgot what his name is. But he fought at lightweight. He fought Roberto Duran at lightweight. He got knocked out by another Puerto Rican fighter. He's a Puerto Rican fighter. He was a Violette. Edwin Violette, I think is the name. Right? He was no Edwin Violette, right? So at the end of the day, he was meh fighting off the back foot. You gotta be, if you good at fighting off the front foot, you should be good at fighting off the back foot. Equally good. But you choose to fight off the front foot. He wasn't that. His front foot game was great. His back foot game was much to be desired. He had holes in it. His defense. Remember, it's all about defense. It make no sense. You got great defense going forward, but you don't have great defense going backward. Then you're vulnerable. So that was the problem with Mike Tyson. Now you had to have a certain amount of skill to get him to go backwards, right? Because remember, he could bob and weave. He could go under punches, right? He's nice and tight, and you go up and under, and then as he's coming up, he'll right? He gonna rip it. Sometimes right? Double right hook or double left hook, boom, 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 right? So, he was a bad motherfucker, right? Then he had that beautiful, nice leaping left hook off the angle and catch you with that. You throw a jab, you throw the jab out there, and he hook over the jab, catch it. So I mean, he had sometimes a double left hook. He kind of reminded me of Joe Frazier styling. He would drop low, come with the left hook up top. If he missed, he drop low again, come with the left hook again. He'd do sometimes triple left hook. He'd do it 3 times sometimes and catch you with the third one. Beautiful. But when it comes to the back foot shit now, that's where he lacked it. If you moving backwards, he got your ass. But if you are boxing him in a tight circle, but not giving up ground, you're gonna get him. That's how that go. But Tyson was fantastic, and he was quick. He could do the 180-degree pivot. It's beautiful to watch. Fast. He'd be on one side of your body ripping shots to the body, and then he'd be on the other side of your body ripping shots to the body. It was quick. Still to this day, he got that quickness. Still got that quickness. I saw him demonstrating it. It was beautiful. You know, you gotta love what Mike Tyson did. It's just that when I look at the level of opposition he faced, unfortunately, when he was in his heyday, you know, he could do those things because again, the level of opposition. You know, Clarissa Shields was talking about it with another potential opponent of hers that could happen in the future. She was saying that this young girl, she looks great against a certain level of opposition because she's allowed to do certain things. But as you get to higher and higher levels of opposition, you can't do that shit. Because they know you're going to be pivoting weak side. They're going to pivot out. And if they pivot out, they cut off that weak side. And if you don't watch your ass, you get countered in the process of doing that. So, you know, certain level of opposition, and it's all to do with footwork. It's all to do with foot placement, footwork, how you cut your angles. You can't cut angles other than that. I mean, how are you going to cut other angles? You got to move your feet. That's why when I hear people say boxing is from the torso, the waist up, that's bullshit. Your feet have a lot to do with boxing. In fact, your major defense in boxing is dependent on how you place your feet in that ring. Do you think Roger Mayweather could fight on the back foot? He fought a little bit on the back foot, but he wasn't great at it, no. He wasn't great at it. That's why Chavez was able to take advantage of that. Once he pushed him back, he had his ass. He didn't know how to fight off the back foot very well at all. You're right. Roger Mayweather, the Black Mamba, didn't have the greatest defense. In fact, I heard Floyd Mayweather Sr. talk about that Roger didn't have the best defense in the world, even though he did very well against Costa Tzu. He outboxed Costa Tzu, in my opinion. Holyfield best Tyson style by headbutting when Tyson tried to push him going forward. Holyfield had the hardest head in boxing. Nah, you got to give Holyfield the credit. He took away the range from Tyson. So when Tyson tried to get on the inside to rip punches, Holyfield would tie him up. And he took advantage of mid-range. Holyfield took advantage of mid-range. So when Mike Tyson really wanted to leverage the throw, and Holyfield was the stronger of the two, obviously. Tyson was the harder hitter, but Holyfield was the stronger of the two. He took away Tyson's game on the inside. Tyson couldn't find range on Holyfield. Holyfield maintained the mid-range game. Really kept a punch in his face, a shoulder, a forearm. You know, roughed him up. He was a stronger guy. Roughed him up on the inside. Holyfield was a bull too. Strong motherfucker. Might have been using steroids though. Mr. Hulk 323. That's why Canelo has a lot of respect for Kovalev, and Kovalev respects Canelo. Yeah, Holyfield was on steroids. It's possible. He was a strong motherfucker though. Steroids or no, he was strong. to take it on them huge ass heavyweights like Riddick Bowe and shit, and Riddick Bowe now talking with slurred speech like, you know, he sounded like Rocky and shit. That's because the fucking Evander Holyfield made him talk like that. Got him punch drunk. Holyfield put a beating on Riddick Bowe. Yeah, Canelo has a lot of respect for Kovalev. I mean, you gotta hand it to Kovalev, man. Kovalev is self-made guy. You know, did things his way. Didn't get no easy breaks in boxing. None. He earned his way. I don't care what nobody say. Triple G got overhyped and all that shit, but Kovalev earned his way in boxing. I got mad respect for Kovalev for that. You know, because they called him the Crusher and all that shit and all that, yeah. But at the end of the day, he proved to be the Crusher, right? He proved that he, you know, against Hopkins, he dropped his ass, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, against Andrew Ward, he dropped Andrew Ward. So he was the Crusher. He did have heavy hands, but he also could box. And I think John David Jackson doesn't get enough credit he deserves. John David Jackson brought him to the level of fighter that he is. You know what I'm saying? I know. You know, we all know that Kovalev gonna get his ass knocked out, but you know, all I'm saying is I have respect for the dude. I really wish Canelo would have faced Demetrius Andrade instead of Kovalev, but you know that ship has sailed. Doesn't look like he's gonna be facing him anytime soon. Demetrius Andrade probably gonna have to move up to 168, probably if Canelo goes down to 168, or Canelo might just hang out at 175 and face the champions there. He might just do that. He got lots of options. You know, Canelo got options. You know, especially if he knocks out Kovalev. He definitely gonna have options. You know, B-Ball and BWF gonna be calling his ass out. B-Ball be like, Canelo, 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 Canelo. I was willing to face you at 168. You know, he was calling him out already. B-Ball was calling him out. So obviously they will love that fight. That's the money man right there. Shit. Yeah, hell yeah, Canelo. So everybody's calling out Canelo. You think there's anybody in boxing right now that doesn't want a Canelo fight? Shit. Everybody wants Canelo. Boxing Monster says, I'm off. Peace. Love you. Live chat. I love your live chats. Keep up the great work. Thanks, man. Peace to you too, brother Boxing Muscle. Yeah, so that's basically what I got. I know I should have done it 40 minutes ago. I should have been closed this feed down, but I didn't. So you guys got a bonus 40 minutes. Don't forget you can subscribe, share, comment. I'm going to try and get this channel out there to many more people so they can see my live feeds. It's good to chat boxing and shit. I'm sure a lot of other people talk about the franchise championships thing and Lomachenko, but it ain't really that big a deal. Trust me, people. It's not that big a deal. It's up to Lomachenko if he wants to defend his undisputed title if he beats the winner of Comey versus Teofimo Lopez. I don't see why he won't, but you never know. These guys might have learned a thing or two and decided to implement it against Lomachenko. So we'll see. He has had a couple tougher fights than he's usually had at super featherweight, at lightweight. So I don't think it's because of the weight class. I really think it's because the challenges have become a lot more tougher since he's faced Jorge Linares. He's had mostly tough fights. The only one he had easy was Anthony Corolla, but you think of Pedraza was tough. Luke Campbell was tougher than normal. These guys are figuring him out, and he's talking about size, but it's not size. It's that these guys are figuring him out. And Campbell and they formed their game plan off of the Pedraza fight. So, you know, I think Lomachenko's still dropping people, which is good for him. I mean, he's gotten stronger. But I think that it's going to become harder and harder for him to beat these guys, and these guys are going to beat him because they're going to figure out, okay, this is how to beat him. Because by now, people should have figured it out. I mean, the dude don't fight nothing else but at mid-range. That's it. He don't fight on the inside. Okay? So if you can keep him, if you're a good fighter on the inside, you're going to beat him. If you're a good fighter on the outside, you're going to beat him. Just deny him his preferred range, and that's it. That's easier said than done, but nonetheless, that's what you got to do. And you got to know his entry points. Then from there on in, he's got to overpower you. He's going to have to outmuscle you to try and he's going to have to walk through some punches and hell to get to where he wants to go. That's what you got to do. He doesn't really dip. He doesn't really bob and weave. If he learns how to bob and weave, which is going to take forever because that's something that you just have to know. You know, I mean, he's not going to get to the inside just like that. That's why Luke Campbell's fight went the distance, because Luke Campbell was able to keep him on the outside. If Luke Campbell stuck to the script and didn't make the mistakes he made, he'd have kept him on the outside, and he would have won the fight. And then he wasn't as strong as Lomachenko. Lomachenko was the stronger dude of the two. So it is what it is. Anyways, people, that's it for me. I'm going to be out of here. I'm going to go and eat my food and get some things ready and continue to do business. You guys can donate to my channel. Donate via Western Union or MoneyGram, or if you have any other suggestions as to how I can do it, you can donate online. Feel free to do so. I know there are sites where people can tip and so on online. I could do a GoFundMe, but that would be kind of stupid. I don't want to do that. So we're going to just try and use the Western Union MoneyGram route for now. All you guys got to do is just fill out the Western Union MoneyGram forms, and basically I'll collect it. I live in Trinidad, so you guys can just send it to Trinidad, and that would be that. Right? Well, peoples, that's about it for me. I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.